What nonsense is this? Rubbish people. How can I receive such an amount of money?
How much did you get?
£200.
Let me see what you got. Oops. See what I got. I just received £200 from my brother.
Oh, you got a lot more than I do.
Oh yes, with MoneyFix, you can receive money from any part of the world to Cameroon directly into your mobile money account at the cheapest rate.
Wow. Are you looking for the best exchange rate for all your money transfer? Try MoneyFix. Log on to moneyfix.com. MoneyFix. Fast, easy, and cheap service to Cameroon. MoneyFix.
One of the things that make me feel very beautiful and very confident as a brown skinned woman is choosing the right skincare products. So here guys, I feel of the products that I use that make me feel very beautiful, very confident. And if you have any skin issue, be it acne, hyperpigmentation or oily skin, dry skin, whatever problem it is you're facing with your skin, trust me, Escape is here for you. Escape is actually formulated to suit all skin types, all melanated skin types. So when you use this, you see how confident I'm feeling. This is going to be you after using Escape products. Trust me. Hi guys. Hi. Please, can I get a signal to show that you're present, please? So I can see Zinaya, Lafleur Lamour. Lafleur Lamour, you're asking for the name of the body lotion. I think it's Escape, right? Yes. Okay. Please, guys, share the post. Share this video and call your friends. I know I haven't said hello yet. I want to get more names before I greet. Hi, Solange. Noella, that's my namesake. Nquine. Cedric, your name is difficult. Irene. Berry Yvette, nice to have you here. Who else? Hi, Paulette. Oh, wow. Beautiful names. Doris. Happy weekend, Doris. Please tag your friends. Share the video. Venui. That should be someone from Douala, right? Delphine. Hello, Delphine. Gwen. Ashley Pearl. Hi, guys. So my name is B. Emanuela. It's another Friday for relationship hot topics. We are happy to have you here today. Today it's going to be hot. I mean, like, it's not such a strange topic, but when it's coming from us, it's always new, right? Yes, because we also get new comments from you guys. Hi, Ty Marie. Nice to have you. Linda. Quenta Claudie. Yes, guys, call your friends. We are here. And like I was saying, we are going to talk today on compatibility in relationships. That's marriage and relationship general. But we are going to zoom in today on age and education. Yes, age and education, because we came to realize that it's very important. We get these questions all the time where people talk about the ages. There's this man I'm dating, he's about 50 years older than me. There's this lady I'm dating, she's about 30 years older than me, but my family doesn't want. What do you think? Do you think I should continue with the relationship? Does this guy who just had his first school, I just completed my university, and then I'm wondering because he has this and that. So yeah, I think it's very important. And so we thought we should address this topic today. And that's why we are here. And that's why you're here. So we want to hear from you. We want to read your comments. What do you think about this? Is it actually true? Like age is just a number? Does it really matter if someone is educated as you or not before you get married to that person or before you engage in a relationship with that person? So yes, let us know. We are ready to hear from you. So today we have all our panelists around at the backstage. We have Deli, we have Denze, and we have Bissong. And okay, I would have loved to read your comments. Who should come first? But please send me Denze. Let me see Denze. Hi, Denze.
Hi, man. How are you?
I'm okay, and you?
I'm good, thank you. It's good to have you.
Good, same here. Hi, Switzerland.
I think it's beautiful. The climate is amazing. I went out today with a friend, and we gave him went for a walk, and it was a beautiful time. The weather is good. Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
At least for today, we are aware that in a couple of days things are going to change.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, I've been a bit confused if actually we are if we actually were in summer. Oops. One moment.
That's very true. It's a strange summer. It's really a strange one.
Yeah, actually, so I've been summer. So, and maybe just 2022, by God's grace, when we are still here, we get summer. Okay, so thanks for coming, Denze. And now let's invite Bissong to join us. Bissong.
Hello, Emma. Hello, Denzel.
Hi, Bissong. Nice to have you.
Nice to have you too. Thank you.
Good. Okay, so Deli, fine.
Hi. That means I did struggle for you, my chairman. Hi, everybody. Hi, we all. Hi.
Hi. So
happy to be here again.
Same here. So I mean, I know one sort of a serious face here. Bissong. Now let's see.
I don't know why the guys are turning their face better. They will be okay in the afternoon.
This of serious, they say the writing some project for this thing. You want to link up with our topics. You remember that you know like glasses me when I now so you just be that party in those days.
It made a girl, it made a child girl. They gave it a chatty.
That's what it is to me now. I'm blushing.
Oh, you don't see a crush. Oh, you don't see a crush self from my man. No. Imagine. Anyway. Thanks guys for coming around. This is great and it's nice to have you people. Guys, please, I will urge you to share the videos. Oh, how many videos I call them videos? Share the video to your friends, tag them, put it on your WhatsApp status, put it on your Facebook story. That's how far you can help us today so that we have more people coming to watch us. Sometimes Facebook is not so fair and it doesn't spread the news, like the good news of Jesus. Facebook, they slow it down, man. So guys, help us do this. Okay, so according to your arrival, Denze.
Yes.
Let me start.
Okay. How can I be of service today?
Okay, so I want you to give me a general overview about your idea when it comes to compatibility in a relationship.
Yeah. Well, anyway, thank you so much for giving me that privilege to start. I think compatibility is it's very important when we talk about relationship, whether it's platonic or romantic relationship, having that connection or having a good chemistry that bonds two people together. It's a beautiful thing, and when you guys have a good chemistry or the compatibilities are strong, I think that relationship can last for a while or forever because there are so many things that personally I think that your people can engage in. But if you have limited compatibilities, the attachment is not as powerful as friends or couples who like they have a whole lot of things to discuss, a whole lot of activities, things that they can do together. So I kind of feel like it's a very important conversation we're having today. And with that, I kind of feel like I should urge our viewers, they should share, invite your friends in because we'll be having a very pertinent conversation tonight and they do not want to miss this part of the show. So as time goes by, they will listen to us and I strongly believe that this show, this particular episode is going to be one of those explosive that people will take some wisdom back home and they will implement those things in their relationship or like in their dating phase. So they will have a very amazing relationship. So thank you so much, Emma.
Okay, you're welcome, Denze, and thank you for such a wonderful opening. That's a really good general overview about your idea on compatibility. I like the fact that you also try to say it's not just about romantic relationship too.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of really touched something that we might have bypassed it without mentioning. Because those who are watching us, I mean, you all agree with us that yes, you cannot just be friends with anybody.
Yeah.
You cannot just you have been friends with the whole of your neighborhood. Sometimes some people always say, "I be me easy to make friend," but guess what? You still know that you're not friends with everybody because there is this compatibility that comes with friendship. So I'm happy you actually mentioned that. So, Bishop, could we hear about your? Could you tell us about your general overview in terms of compatibility?
Well, thank you. Sorry, thank you, Emma. Well, compatibility is not a new word for many of us. We hear that every day, and I know sometimes people it's a word that is highly misconstrued in our society and misinterpreted in so many ways. But I think it's in very, very simple English. I think it's all about two people or couples being able to work well with each other. You know, when you can blend, you can work with your partner, it means you guys are compatible. I understand that nobody is perfect. But when you have that relationship, when you have that partner that you see yourself not having too much work in changing them, like they ask you, what will you like to change in your partner? You don't write a long list of things like from like head to toe or deal breaking aspects in your partner. You don't have a huge pile of deal breaking characters from your partner. Then you know you guys are compatible. You are being when you be yourself, like being your true self. There's no faking. You can be your true self when you have that partner that you can be your true self in front of him or her. Then that's another point of compatibility when you just like being normally like anywhere. So it's just about how you blend with someone and how you go well with each other. So I think to me that's all about compatibility.
Okay, thanks, Bishop. I was trying to put down some great points you made, some beautiful points so that we don't miss them out. Along the line, we could also use them for our discussion. Yes, so okay, now to use this. Now, instead of you now coming to talk about compatibility after Bisong and Denze have made very great points, which I think they have already nailed. They've already hammered it. you know, um, I will I wish that you do a rundown, a rush rundown. Guys, get your pens ready, get your books ready. And we are not Delhi is not going to get into details but she's going to do a rundown. You can always do research, you can always read. That will be the school they never give mathematics, doesn't go back as study. So I just want you to give a rundown, point form, not explanation, of the different aspects of compatibility in a relationship, so that people can get this many numbers. We are going to concentrate, like I said in the beginning, we are zooming in on just 2 aspects, but maybe having a rundown, especially for those who are joining us for the first time today, it might help them. It might actually help them to.
Hi everybody. It's good to be here again. I don't clearly understand your question. Give a rundown of the different types of compatibility, or is that it?
Yes, I mean, yeah.
Okay. So there are different types of compatibility, of course, that exist. Some people break down some into different parts, more like some compatibilities are divided into maybe 4 different segments like that. But the major ones that I think that we would be, apart from the age or generational compatibility and educational compatibility, we will be talking about is the spiritual compatibility. That's one. We have mental or educational intellectual compatibility rather. So we have spiritual compatibility. If you can write it down in the comments, just so that I don't get mixed up. We have intellectual compatibility, or mental compatibility. We have vision compatibility. So that's compatibility to know goals, life, vision, whatever you're doing, what you intend to make an empire out of. And then we have physical compatibility. Yeah, you and I, what we like about each other, the physical part, which is very important. There's no gainsay about that. And then we have emotional compatibility. Guys, be dropping them in the comments just so that I don't mix them up. Okay, we have the emotional compatibility. And then we have cultural tolerance. I personally, I have that. There's compatibility in that. And then, of course, age or generational compatibility, and then educational compatibility, and then medical compatibility. I don't know the ones I said now. I'm mixing them up, right? Yeah. So, guys, no, please stop saying "mommy look beautiful." That's not important. I beg. Write down what I'm saying in the comments. That's what we are here for, please, so that we don't mix up, because I wasn't expecting that particular question, so I'm a bit all over the place. But please write it down. Spiritual compatibility, mental compatibility, educational compatibility, generational compatibility, cultural tolerance is also a compatibility, medical compatibility. Please be writing them down in the comments that is coming. I can't see the comments, so I'm trying to. I don't know if I exhausted the list, Emma.
Yes, I think you got a good.
And then physical compatibility, emotional compatibility.
Yes,
it's supposed to be 10. It's supposed to be 10. I'm not sure if I've listed all of it.
6, 8. We have 9 here.
Oh, really? Did you put emotional compatibility?
Yes.
Okay. Then it's maybe I missed out on one, because I know it's 10, but it's okay. I mean.
Okay. Good. So just a rundown. No, sorry, I didn't put mental compatibility. Right. Did I? I didn't. Okay, so thanks, Eta Defin. That was good. I think I missed that out. So just a rundown of what Daily gives, that for those who did not have the chance to write it out, you could also write this out. We have intellectual compatibility, spiritual compatibility, vision, physical compatibility, medical compatibility, mental compatibility, emotional compatibility, cultural tolerance, age, and all of that. So guys, this is very important. I mean, a lot of those things that we don't take them into consideration before we get into a relationship, and before you know it, you are like, I don't know my spouse again. This is not the person I got married to. But unfortunately, it's maybe, just maybe, you didn't check out on those things. If actually you people were compatible in that area. If we look at this health compatibility, it's because people have insisted a lot about health compatibility. Now that you get people now going to the hospital to check. See, some of us are not exempted from this. So when we say this, don't think we're exempted. You know, sometimes I say the way we grow up, it matters. Some of these things were not discussed, like they put you down and then they start telling you before you get married to a man, this and this and this. No, very limited things were put into consideration. And sometimes even they tell you, don't see massa, now you're all fine, just keep quiet one time. So all of those things, and that's why we thought, like, guess what? We shouldn't ignore those things. And now, just so for a disclaimer, guys, not as if the other ones are not important, but for those who can remember, we've had discussion here so many times on this compatibility issue. We've been talking about it. Even Delia has been having shows, live shows on her own, talking about this thing. Today, we decided to zoom in on age and education because it matters, but it seems highly ignored. That's why we get those cases coming. So I've been hearing a lot about age is just a number. Denzel, do you think age is just a number?
Well, I think it depends. It depends. If it's too exaggerated, then it becomes a problem to me. And also, for the people who believe that age is not a number or it's just a number. Well, that's true. It's a number per se, but a couple of things have to come in place. You know, I have the way I perceive things, and if you are 60, or let's say you're 50, and you're dating a woman at 30, a man's psychology it's different, and a woman's psychology it's different, right? So, what prompts you to leave the women at your age range, and you have to run down right up to 30? There are a couple of things people might bring in. They might say probably because she's still young, or she can, for childbearing or for reproduction, stuff like that. But again, there are a couple of things that they are way more deeper than that. Is this man toxic to women of his age or close to his age? Is he running down that age to look for somebody that can call him daddy? You know, like why I said daddy, because I find it very unusual if a woman, or let me say someone you're dating, is calling you daddy. That's like your father. That's like your father, you know. So why would I choose a woman who will call me daddy? You understand what I mean? So it's kind of like, it sounds really funny to me.
People their romantic names say.
I get it, right?
They are not even know that there's a talking about it.
Yeah, it sounds really funny to me to see the situation where you will be at this age. Daddy to me is like, my daughter has to call me daddy, you know, and this is some of the things that you see men of this age when they go down, like, okay, you like, I don't know if you guys watch some crazy kind of videos. You see like a man at that age will like tell the younger girl, to call him daddy.
There won't be a problem of my daddy name.
It doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't sit well with me. You know, it's really funny. It's really funny, honestly. I don't know. Yeah, it's really funny to me, but it's something that I cannot control, right? But again, let me go back to it. Age matters to me because I believe, like, let me say, if I have to date someone, or I have to tell someone to date within a certain range, the maximum I will give is 10. And I have a reason for doing that, because one of my first reasons is you people have a whole lot of things that you people can talk about. I think people within the same decade, if you are in school, you remember that, if you are in class, let me say class from 5, if someone is in high school, you guys almost read the same books. You guys almost watch the same hot movies that were like at the top of that time, right? So people have things that you can talk about. But when you cross 2 decades, these people have a complete different ideology or topics to discuss about because things have really changed. So when you fit in with these people now, their conversation is different. They are talking things that they experience, and the things that you experience are completely different because of the age difference, and their social class as well matters.
Yeah.
The things they talk about is completely different. So you will be, maybe you're 20 and you're dating someone of 40, right? I'm not judging those guys, but I'm saying, like, as you, the woman, you need to be extremely intelligent to manage, to handle the social club, their topics, because you want to be part of that conversation. You can't just sit and watch or just listen to them while they are talking. You need to be involved. So that's why I feel like it matters to me. It matters, and people need to take that into consideration. So I think that's just the right way I'll put it.
It's good they marry them to come and talk.
Come again?
Did they marry them to come and talk? They didn't marry them to come and talk on social issues.
No,
they
but
married them to come and talk.
You need to be part of that association, like your husband's best friend or your wife's best friend.
Of course, you're right, bro. You're right. I'm just joking.
Yeah, so that's just it.
See, if we want to go by this business point, it means intellectual compatibility has no place in compatibility list. Anyway, yeah, like you rightly said. Denzel, well, oh my God. You've made some great points, but I Daddy, why you get problem with Daddy? Why?
I don't have
how?
It just sounds funny to me. It just sounds funny to me. I don't know. I don't know why.
Baby? What about baby?
That's fine. Baby? That's fine. But the daddy thing, the daddy, no, it really.
You know, be picking. Why they call it baby?
That's why you see, whenever people call Dele, like mommy Dele, no, if you remember, it's so, I always laugh, like mom.
You didn't underestimate my mommyism. You didn't underestimate my mommy title.
Okay.
Oh,
all right.
Guys, there is a comment. Sorry, a comment from Kevin Guti. Before I continue, yes, thank you. Women always say age doesn't matter. Little do they know that in marriage, those small girls are silent in their homes. They can't even talk in a family meeting. They can't even have a productive chat with a man's parents. Yes, this is a very important point. Please, can somebody just take note? We'll have this discussion because also I think there's a kind of mention it somehow. Now, either way, this or ask the question, say they can't talk. So there's you see this daddy thing you're talking about. I know where you're going to, but even though I do not have an issue with somebody calling the husband daddy, because personally I'm planning to call mine daddy. See, this daddy thing start how? If the two can't say picking, they can't call the man, they say daddy. Sorry, their papa they say daddy. So you two don't follow. Daddy. Not be that age, there's not be that age. But I understand when you say somebody who is supposed to be the age of your father, somebody you should call that. That's something different. That's already, an idea of looking at somebody that you're fit to be my father. But it's different from you calling your husband daddy or baby.
And the thing is, your husband is not supposed to be your dad. It's your husband. There's a different kind of respect. There's a different respect you give to your dad, and a different respect you give to your husband. So when you're calling daddy, I'm just
yes. I buy what Denzel is saying 100%.
Yeah, it's your husband, it's not your dad. The respect you give to both, it's completely different. So that honestly, Denzel is like daddy.
If you don't talk this anyway, Emma go chronologically. No remains of Denzel. I went to you and Denzel don't talk since we show start. They sound of our back.
Nothing that you don't contribute. This will not contribute. Anyway,
this will not contribute. Which this one this on top the other point. I said don't tell you and Denzel listen on a 2 day show.
No, there's a point. It suit me. I know say somehow when I will pick up back and forth that point somehow. But Bishop, coming to you right now. This there's a lot of that they think all over my head. This issue of Bishop, do you have an issue dating or getting married to a woman who is older than you? If so, if yes, I'm coming, brother. If yes, how many age difference? And
Why
why
is
do
this,
you have a
why
limit?
is he smiling?
And and why do you have a limit?
And the answer say, I was about asking before I answer that question. Let me just go back to the daddy issue
You
since
don't
it's
see.
been a topic. Well, well, to me, women who address their husbands as daddy, I think it's kind of they're trying to create a family setting where they're trying to make even the mother is trying to put herself in the same position as the kid, so they should all identify the father of the house like the daddy. And in most cases, you see the father also addresses the mother as mommy, especially when the kids are around there. I believe it's like it creates an umbrella in the family that in this family there is a daddy and there is a mommy and things like that. Well, Emma, I'm going to now to your question. Am I comfortable marrying a woman that is older than me?
Mhm.
One, from I will tell you that I am very, very comfortable with that fact because I wouldn't say age has nothing to do with me in my relationship. Age has a lot to do, but now the age difference matters. What are the things what are my reasons for getting married? What do I want to achieve in marriage? What are my projects? What are my objectives in marriage? These are the things that will really matter. What age of a woman I'm getting married to? Why do I say so? One of the main reasons for marriage is for procreation. And we know by nature that women, when you get to a certain age, you accept through divine intervention, which I can't talk about now because I'm not of that spiritual standing to really talk about that. But now I'm talking now from a human perspective, like physical perspective, that we know at a certain age women they give up this blessing of procreation, like when they get to menopause. So now, if I'm getting married, this is where age will play. How many kids do I want to have? And how long will it take me to have these kids? This is the reason why I will, in my 30s, I would prefer not to marry a woman in her late 40s because maybe I plan to have 3 or 4 kids. A woman in her late 40s, how long will it take her to accomplish this mission of 4 kids? So
Mm,
at that point, age is a barrier.
mm,
Okay, but if I am 30 and a woman is 40 and I want to have 1 or 2 kids, it's very, very okay because at that part she can accomplish that mission. Secondly, another important objective for in marriage is your vision in the future. At some point, if we put it the other way around, that okay, I'm a woman and the other side it's a man, right? Another issue of marriage is that for if your future vision, you understand that at some point we work now and then we have to retire. Now, in a home, because of the age variation, it's obvious that one person retires before the other.
mhm,
So if you are having this age difference of 10 years, it means it's likely to happen that one person will retire. Maybe you will have to sustain the entire home for 5 or 10 years. So these are the things you should put in your mind. Now, I'm just drifting a little bit from to Denzel's point where he was talking about a younger girl getting married to really an older man who is like 30 or 40 years difference. So you
mm,
should be aware that this person will get retired in the nearest future. And you should be asking yourself, am I going to be able to sustain this family if the main source of income will be retiring in the nearest future? If your
mm,
answer is yes and you have means of doing it, fine. So I'm bringing it back to me that so long as the person that I am getting into a relationship with, she's older than me, okay, as a woman, what are the things I want to achieve from a woman in marriage? They are part of procreation, which I talked about. We know about care. We know about comfortability, making the house becoming a home, and all what like every other things that come along with the wife. You start asking yourself, in the next 15, 20 years in marriage, how old is she? Can she accomplish all this? If the answer is yes, then to me, nothing stops me. But now, I won't date a woman who is older than me. If she can, if I evaluate her and then she can accomplish her divine blessing of procreation, she can't. Maybe after 5 years, she go start wearing her diapers. No, who go to take care for us? Who will help me? Who will help me? I need some very fresh brains to help me accomplish my dreams. I seek for advice, because it shouldn't be like I am married and then I'm going to seek advice from my grandmother. No, I seek advice to someone who is in the same age group with me, despite the fact that she's older, but she can reflect with modern day society. So that's what matters to me. I think I have answered your question, Emma.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to put down the points you made. Okay. So yeah, you said something good, Bisang, about you talked about retiring. Say my area so they stand the cocoa leaf the now let's say the one the particular now. So are you by any means saying that before you get married, the woman has to be working? Because what if you get married to arbeitslos arbeitslos English then
What if I get married to what?
To how
Unemployed,
English
unemployed person.
unemployed. So this one how
It
far?
doesn't. No, that was just an answer. It doesn't mean. See, we are getting married. When we get married, it's our responsibility to make each other better. You understand? Not everybody on earth will be employed. You understand? But everybody on earth should have. If you can't afford an economic activity, you should be able to afford a domestic activity. It is a must. You understand? And now, age matters a lot. Chiwe you fit do am economically or domestically, your grandma no fit do am. So that's just what I was saying. You didn't expect me to go deep into say. If I just used the word work. Not every woman. Yeah, some men get married to their wives and they decide that they shouldn't work. Maybe all man go work. You don't. When I don't create, I'm not sure when I don't have you ever they can't work.
Now the thing vex big man. Hey, let's say they want 14, let's say they 40 men married some old woman.
Calm down, Papa, calm down. Calm down. No, you don't make consider my English terms and it's disappeared.
No, you know why? Because I was feeling bad that because I know that people out there who are not working and there are women out there who are not working. I felt like I'm giving the impression that because they don't have a job, it means they are not they are not okay for marriage. You know.
No, Bisang, that was just
So I was
to put
I understand my expression was to rebuke that fact immediately.
Okay.
No vex.
No vex.
The way you rebuked him, I don't know
The way you rebuke the thing. The way you rebuke the thing again, no.
I said, when I laugh, when I say I need the ever serious. When I want serious, when I say I did too serious. Finally, how should I put my face? When I tell me,
put your face.
I'll answer you behind the scenes. I'll answer you that question behind the scenes. No worry.
Okay.
So you want to try for ask the world because of me anyway, I mean that was great. I mean you gave really powerful points there. So teacher had the struggle for right. You see, you never say that day. The teacher to go fast. You not even take note. I was even trying to take down the note so it could help me, but I don't really catch up. Yeah, but that was good. So coming back to you, sis. Now this issue about age difference. Do you think it should be gender-wise defined?
Do I think
Yeah.
it should be gender-wise defined?
Yes.
Guys, can you people pump hearts when I share video now? You people, nobody is sharing. We're just here. People are just looking at us like we'll be photo. You guys can share the video, encourage us, pump hearts for us. Okay, please. Kindly do that. I mean, that's the list of the things we can ask now. We can possibly ask, please. Okay. So let me just talk on this age thing too as well. I don't, yeah. Obviously, God, the way God created man and woman, we know in the Bible that Adam came before Eve, and the Bible says that one day is like 1,000 years before God, and 1,000 years like that. So we cannot categorically say that Adam was older than Eve in how many years, whatever, but we know that Adam was older than Eve. At least we can we cannot argue that fact that Adam was older than Eve. Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, when she came, so it's always been that order. So God created man to have that order. A man is older, because the man needs to lead. So there should be an aspect of experience in the man and all of those things that Adam had before Eve came into the picture. So when I'm looking at age and all of that, I'm considering the things as well that the man has and all of the things that the man has been exposed to. And before I bring in the woman's own part of it. Now, is age a number? Is age a number? Age is not just a number. And I think I buy what Denzel and Bison has said initially. I personally think that age is not just a number. That's why we're talking about generational or age compatibility. Now, personally, if somebody is about to get married, we look at the age generation. So when you're asking if somebody should be 10 years or 5 years older than another person, I would say I go with generations. So there's old school. The old school is tricky and very unadvisable for an old school person to get married to an android person. So remember, we have these three different schools of thought. We have the old school, we have the millennials, we have the android. And for an old school person to get married to an android, because of the generational incompatibility, it's going to be a lot of other things, factors are going to fall into place. Okay. And so that's why we say that it is not advisable, not that it cannot work, because truly I've seen 40, 50 years old men who are acting like 15 years. And I've seen 20, 25 years old men who act like 40, 50. But overall, generally speaking, those are exceptional cases, in all honesty. With overall, the man is always bigger and ahead for the obvious reason. And I think that God made that in a way that we women could be very domineering. We can usurp authority, we can usurp positions. And if God did not give that, when there's not that age difference, we tend to underlook the men easily. We would tend to more like we'll thief everything from them. So that age factor just has a way of playing to play on the psychology of you, knowing that first of all, this is an elder brother to me before being a husband and all of that. So, but again, I think, like I said, these things really matter depending on the situation at hand. Okay, like I said, there's some men who truly, even women, there are some women who are 15 years old, they're acting better than women at 40. So it really matters. But like I said, overall, we should understand that it is advisable for the man to be older, except maybe you have looked at the other compatibility boxes that we listed, then somebody ticked all of those compatibility boxes, and then at the level of age, the person is, for a man now, younger than me. And I'm thinking, why would I forfeit all of these things to look at age, when I think, based on the fact that this person ticks the other boxes, we can actually really flow like that. So I will not. At that level, I would say, you know what, rather than focusing only on the age, come on, look at the other positives in this person's life and all that. Now, again, still on another side, in my experience in counseling, the men and the very older men, who choose to have this very huge gap when they're looking for a partner are usually, for the most part, narcissists. And I'll explain that. Men who are like 50 years and looking for girls like 20, for the most part, they're like narcissists. They have the narcissistic tendencies. They're looking for people to dominate, women to dominate, a woman who would just be silent. And I don't know if it's Bison who asked that question, like, are you sure, or was it in the comments? Do they even get to speak? The fact that they got married, do they have the audacity to express themselves in marriage? Can they talk? Because a man who would look at a woman, you look at a woman, that should be your child. For heaven's sake, it looks more like that in your child.
Daddy.
I'll come to that. That be. A man who should, you're looking at it like this is your child. You're getting married. It just shows you that it is either a dysfunction at the level of the man. When you see men who go right down to wanting to get women 10, 15, 20 years, 10 could be a bit, and that's my limit. 10 could be understood. But when it starts passing 10, 20, 30 years older, younger than them, trust me, 9 out of 10 times, my own statistics anyways, those men are looking for women, yes sir, women. The women who will not disagree with them, the women who will just sit silent and not argue with them, the women who will make them feel like men, as in you a shut up woman. I don't want a woman who will come with too much grammar and all of that. So they are looking for women who would stay below. And if you get into that home, those are highly toxic relationships for the most part. Because a man, like whether Bison or Denzel mentioned, that a man wants somebody who is intellectually, you people are sound, you people went to the same school, you have the same, you're exposed to the same thing. That's why I was saying those in the old school were not exposed to the things of Android. And likewise, like vice versa, it is mostly those in the millennials who share both worlds. We have a touch of old school and we also have a touch of Android. So when you look at the people who would leave millennials and skip to Android, there's a question mark. I mean, a matter of fact, a very big question mark attached to that. So I really think that age is a factor. It is a factor, but of course, weigh the other sides before just categorizing and saying that, oh, I don't want this. And on that issue of daddy, people calling their husband daddy, one of my sisters used to call the husband daddy, and I'm like, how you call your master say daddy? I still try to understand that bit. But again, she flipped on the side, the same way you call your husband babe, your master na babe, na pikin. So I just see that it is their own way of emotionally expressing themselves, or a pet name. It is not the authority thing, because Denzel rightly said that it is Israeli said that it is the way you treat your husband is different from the way you treat your father. The respect you give to your husband is different from the respect you give to your father. So to me, I think it's a pet name. It is nothing short of a pet name, because otherwise we are not supposed to be calling even our partners babe, na pikin. How we picking now? So that to me, the age thing, and you made it to the gender, to me to focus on the gender, the women's own side. In all honesty, I think that the women are more to the disadvantage. This one already explained that with age. Age is not a woman's friend. Even if it's a friend, it's not a woman's best friend. We wish sometimes, as a woman, I wish that the world could just pause like that. Okay, when it comes to age, we don't eat our cake, especially with women, and have it. But when it comes to men, they can eat their cake and have it as many times as possible. And of course, I hope that we understand what I'm saying in that light. So yeah, age matters a lot. Let nobody deceive you that it doesn't matter. It does. It does matters.
Yeah. Okay, so thanks so much. I mean, like you mentioned something very important about this men who go to look for people who are really far younger than them. Yeah, I think I kind of also agree, like, let me say more so that we don't turn out to generalize. Many of those men, I'll really say yes. That's the feeling I have too, because I think Denzel asked this question in the beginning. And even before the beginning of the show, I started and I was asking myself, like, brother, what have you been doing? Where are your classmates? Why? You know, the ex-student association. You know, if any country meets where you're intimate and they like seriously,
or even millennials. Remember, I said even millennials. Remember, if you are old school and you come to millennials, it could be like 5-10 years difference. So which could be understood. If you skip that age difference for millennials and get into Android, there's a big question mark. Yes, for me.
Yeah. See, even though you thought that, see, I mean, to be very honest, in person, when I look at somebody who is like 50 plus and trying to look for someone 30, for me, I know like an ancestor relationship that in my relationship. Now, ancestor
It's a game
that,
of interest at that point for me as well. Yeah.
Ancestor. And then I begin to ask myself, what happened to your own generation? And especially those men who have never been married before. Because I kind of really trust, for me, somebody who has been married before, that one is even completely something else. You've even been married and you're divorced, or maybe you're a widower or something like that. You never even married, brother. You can't 60 years. You go find people for 20 years or 30 years. What are you thinking? If you want to even look, if you don't have a daughter or a son, at least that you know that this is my fault. Maybe you dropped one somewhere without even knowing. And then one day your daughter will show up and it's even maybe older than your wife. So what exactly is in your mind? And so, like you rightly said, most of the time, it's always this thing of, let me look at somebody, I don't feel all this why, or let me say, I've not been able to get somebody that compatible. Now, let me look at somebody who will just be in the house so that my friends will know I have a wife. But then somebody you can control. This natural instinct of being able to control. At the same time, some people want very strong women, yet they want women that they can control. So you see, it's a bit difficult, and I just think I was just like saying to support what you said in terms of that generational differences. So we have a short break now, really short break, before we come back and continue.
I am Martha, the CEO of Martha's Food Supply.
Hi guys, this is Relationship Hot Topics handled by Denzel, Isong, Billy, and myself, Emanuela, for those who are just joining us now. So our topic of today is compatibility in relationship, and we are zooming in on age and education. So welcome back, guys. And we can pick up from here.
Thank you, Emma.
Okay, so there's this question, or not a question, a statement from Lafleur Lamu. Lafleur Lamu, you said some ladies prefer that kind of age. Oh yes, I agree with you. 100%. You know, people have preferences, and that we cannot minimize or push it under the carpet. Yes, and this also comes with reasons for why you getting into a relationship. Why do you prefer that age difference? Of course, some women prefer that for reasons. I used to hear some people say, no, I prefer really very older men because they're mature. But you know, life has taught us that maturity seems not to be just about age. So it can bounce like bam. You will take some 60 years ancestor, so bam. Well, you do like 20 years, so you want age. But it's a can yes, I turn again. I yes, I get to be picking now. We give the begging file. So be very careful. And on the other side, like we were trying to mention, I think that's just one reason one reason among the many reasons why old men want to get married to younger generation. Please, guys, don't get us wrong. Don't think we are generalizing like every old man is going to that. That's their reason. And so for those ladies who actually want that, you want to get married to somebody who is far older than you, be very sure that you have compatibility in terms of ideas and vision. That's when it comes in. Why are you getting married to somebody like that? Does he have the same reason for you? He might be coming because he wants to suppress you. While you're going there, you want maturity. Maturity, you go see you. You open your eyes up. You'll see maturity. You'll see respect inside the marriage. So all in all, we are saying that know why you're getting married, actually. So Denzel, I come back to you. I want to connect 2 points that are not so connected. In a nutshell, I want you to talk on 2 different points here.
Okay.
First of all, Bisam was talking, Bisam talked about you compatibility when you don't have so many things about someone you want to change. Then you can now say you're kind of compatible when you don't have a long list to change someone. Okay, so I don't know if, in your opinion, you think when somebody is that old already, do you think there are a lot of things about this person you want to change and you might not even be able to change because they never thought say when I on the way hot to or no, where don't cool when they for better. I don't know if now when that age difference is there, it's now difficult even for you to change some things in terms of sometimes we can also try to change some things about somebody so that you can fit in well. So you're going to answer that, and then now I want you to connect it to vision, age, compatibility, age as a compatibility in marriage, and the effects of age on vision.
Yes.
I want you to connect this. Yes, this age difference. Do you think with this what I call ancestor child relationship, can the vision actually fit in well? So can you take in those 2 things?
Okay, I think first, let's start from the first part of the question. I hope I understood you really well, and hopefully I will tackle them slowly and see where my spirit is going to lead me into that. Let's try to focus first on the change part, which I think psychologically, older people, they have practiced they have like habits are repeated activities that we do over and over again, and it becomes like a second nature to us. Now, can you change certain people when they are above, let me say 40? To be candid with you guys, it's really hard because from a psychological point of view, people from 0 to 5 years, there is a guarantee of 100% that you can change this set of human beings that are kids of 0 to 5. You can change them. From 0 to 15, this is, okay, let me just go to it. From 0 to 15, it's still 50% possible that you can change these people from 0 to 15. Okay, now from 15, let's say to 25, right? There is a possibility that you can change these people, but you are more of an influencer than a motivator to change. That is, you give a contribution, they rationalize it with you, they abide that this thing is toxic or it's limiting them to acquire certain things in life. They buy your ideas, then they implement change themselves from within them. Right? Okay, I'm sad. I'm sorry now. From 35 to above, they will die as they are. I'm sorry to put it that way. But
especially the men.
Especially the men. Yeah, statistics are like, okay, there are some exceptional cases. We know these things that there are some cases that is different, but we are talking of the majority. These people will hardly change. Right. Or let me say, it's impossible for them. The fact that you change for when we talk about change, it's something like you need permanent, then it has changed. Not change for this month and next month you pick another color, right? That's not change. You change for 6 months and number 7 month you went back to your old habit. That's not change. Like
I call it adjustment.
That's
They
really
just adjust.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
so I think with these people, it's really hard for them to change because hey, it's embedded in them. It's like innate quality. This is part of them. They have to come to a place where it's like their value. Let me say these are their values, right?
Right.
That's who they are. And until this value fails them, then they can say, okay, this is something that I have to do it. And before for you to realize that your value is failing you, you have to be in between that age of 30 to 35. Then you can easily adapt to other change. But above that 40, there's likely chance that you're gonna die who you are. So I don't know. I think I answered the first part of the question.
I like your analysis of that, Denzel.
So the second part, I don't know if you can remind me. I'm like, my brain is like almost everywhere. You can remind me of the second part, how to connect it.
Vision.
Okay, good. Now, I heard why Denny was listing those 10 factors or compatibilities, which I'm sure I totally agree with her. But for me, I'm going to summarize it under 4 different sections, right? For me, it's like physical compatibility, emotional compatibility, intellectual compatibility, and eternal compatibility. Eternal compatibility is more of vision or like spirituality. Let me put it under that eternal. Right now, your vision. Do you have the same vision with this man or with this woman? The chances are he's older than you. He has experienced more things than you. He has a complete vision of life or perspective of life than you. We do not want to embrace this part of the conversation because it's painful. And when we talk about things like this, some people take it personal because they have a spouse or a husband or a girlfriend who is older than them, and they feel like we are targeting their values. No, that's not the point. The fact that you do not agree with it doesn't mean it's going to change. It is what it is. It is what it is. It's not going to change.
Catch me after the show.
So this vision, sorry.
Yeah, Denzel, go on, please.
Yeah, so on this vision now, like, do you people have the same vision of life? If the vision is completely opposite, it's going to affect your relationship. It's going to affect your relationship atmosphere. Things will be falling apart. So you have to, these things are very important. We talk about age. We talk about age. Like people might think it's something okay, they're just talking about age, but no, you're 45, or let me say you're 50, and let me say you're 25, you're dating a man at 50 or 55. Emotionally, he's not there. But we just have to be real.
Yeah.
He can be there physically on paper, but he's not there to get you to your own limit. He's not there. I'm not talking about money. The money might be there, but can he please you? Yes.
I don't know if you don't mind if I can just chip in something to what you're
sure,
saying.
why not?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that. Let me just say, for us men, that those wonderful men out there who see into their wives' vision and get themselves involved into it, they do everything that they can do to make sure their wives succeed and accomplish their vision. This is what happens within us. Before, and I think it happens the same even for a woman, before a man or a woman decides to commit herself, her time, her energy, everything into a man's vision, or a man committing his time and energy into a woman's vision, it means they have seen themselves in that
inside
vision.
Of it,
Then they have seen themselves inside of it. And this is what happened. I'll give a practical example that people, who've seen it around us. Once you are that girl, you are dating a man half older than your age. Once you put a long-term vision, he never gets himself involved because he doesn't see himself into it. A man is 50, you are 25. You put a long-term vision of
Are
10
you
or
saying the
15
man will
years on
die?
the table.
Would an old man die?
He is reluctant to get it because he doesn't see himself into it. He's reluctant. That is why most of them, look at it, most of these men, how do they, yes, they don't get themselves in, what do? They open you store where you start saying that today you start chop the money this year immediately.
An old man
Put
should
a long
die.
No, I am not saying that old man should die, but I'm just saying, they only get themselves involved in those visions that are short term. Put a long term vision on the table, 10 years old, they are out, they are reluctant, they'll never do it. They only tell you, say, I go open you store, I go buy you motor, put a plan. I want
Orbison, a vision that doesn't warrant their energy.
Yes, that doesn't warrant their energy. They don't have that time. They just
don't.
give some cash, pap, okay, do this. Put a vision like a young man, if you are with a guy of your age, where a guy will say, okay, baby, for these 3 years, I will stay with the kids. I will take Pikin and go school, come in, finish school. They don't even agree, so me go do some project where
nothing.
It gives opportunity for another man to see you in their absence. You understand?
They will not. You don't stop point them back. There, so if you do at the beginning of the show, almost same come with this time.
But continue. Sorry, continue.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming in with that perspective, right? Which is great. But now you are speaking on a small group of people, while my focus is on the general group of people.
No, I think his point works with the general as well.
No, it doesn't, Delhi. This is what I mean. I don't know if you guys have come across divorce statistics. It's about 60%. I'm talking about areas where they have data. There is 60%, let's say from 55 to 60% of women or of people who divorce within the first 5 years of their marriage. 85% of these individuals or people who file for divorce, 85 to 90% are women. And what are their complaints? Their visions do not align together.
I think it's the same thing.
But that's what Bison was saying now.
I think
that's just what I'm saying.
Their vision, incompatibility in vision, meaning that they don't see in line, okay? And it happens more with the when the age gap is too much. So he was just trying
when
to
the age
give
gap
you
is
the
too
reason.
much, the man doesn't see himself into it.
Yes, he was trying to give you the reason why you're giving that statistics. Do you understand?
Supporting your
I was just giving reason to what you're giving.
So I think Bison's point instead ties with what you are saying now.
Okay,
yes,
good.
Yes.
Because for example, Denzel, you can invest even 5 years.
Correct. Your statistics is right. What he was saying is an example.
You can invest even 5 years of your life, of your time and everything for your wife to accomplish a project. Because in 5 years' time, you can see yourself into that project. You understand? But let's say, for example, you were 60 years old. Can you invest that time? Can you sacrifice that time of your life for your wife for her own benefit? How many papa did you do?
Ambition, can I just add something to this? Now we're only looking we're just looking at the side of the men, because normally if the man with the vision and all of that, if a young girl comes, flip the coin as well with the woman's own side, and especially if the woman is even older than the man. Remember I said, if you have a woman who is dating a younger guy, far younger, or trying to get married to a far younger guy, and then a man who is trying to get married to a far younger guy, it is game of interest at that point in time. What you can give me and what I can give you. It is no longer your vision. I am compatible with your vision. Oh, we look things at things like the pa they look is small girl can the warm skin for night. The girl they also look for your money. The woman they look person who can give orgasm. The young boy they also look for your own money. In all of this, they have their agenda. Let nobody come and start deceiving people that they fell in love. They this, and it's game of interest, because even if for exceptional cases that there's love, you still look at it. Everything being equal, you would have gone for a younger guy who has money to give you than an old man who is barely managing to stand up and cannot even have an erection, a proper erection. So that's what I'm trying to say, that it is a game of interest. At this point in time, they're not looking at all of those other compatibilities. These compatibilities, though, they talk and so it's then for people the way they really there for the same age group, they are looking at life, having the same kind of the rest. Now, game of interest. Any young man getting married to a far younger, I insist, keyword far younger girl, now game of interest. If we look at even for scripture, you hear Satan with David, they go bring his on young girl. Make come for Bible get all kind of story then. They go bring David on young virgin. Now young virgin they bring her with David. At that time, enough for warm David. David has seen all sorts of women in his lifetime as king and all of that. At that point in time, now for act more fire done the loss of the pie skin now. And at that point in time, let that young virgin be honest, say that path is satisfying. Enough it. That's why you will see in this situation, the men usually that young girl go to take him money for day, then so other young boy the warm his skin for outside, and that's usually what happens. Or the young boy is servicing the madam in the house, that or woman, and he's there looking for 10-25 francs to go and give her his young girlfriend at one corner in school at the dormitory, because you cannot cheat nature. You cannot. The way God put this life and order it, it is that's how it's supposed to be. So if you turn it around, just forget. Everybody at that point in time is looking for interest. Interest.
Yeah, I think I totally agree with what you all said. Like we don't even need to get into the scripture. I just have to be real sometimes. Look at even us, the diaspora. We see these things all the time. Where on blogs you see a probably 26-year-old guy dating a woman of 60, 70. It's things for your own benefit. It's a gain of interest. We see these things all the time.
Even the old women who are almost dying, especially our African. If you want to even mix it, African women getting married to very old white men. Or now game of donkey papers.
Bison is there. Okay. Luckily enough, you and I have lived in Asia, and here we see the European men or the Western men from this part of the world. They go to Asia. You see the women they pick, and at the end, what do you realize? They pick young, beautiful women, and these women know it's for their benefit. Rather, this man has retired. They need his retirement benefit and all that.
They do.
Thank you.
I'm seeing somebody in the comments saying that there ain't no get limit. If you
I wanted to
on our brother, Emma, you can speak on that since
I want because I've seen a number of comments like that, and I wanted to address it. And first of all, let me start. Kelly Mosambe. Yes, if I got the name well, no girl. I think that should be a lady. It's not a debate, sister. It's a discussion, and your points actually it matters. If for you age is just a number, it's fine, it's good. It's not a debate, because no man know the fair will finally give you final percent whether or they don't win. Glad come off here. So your point really matters, and it's fine. And also, I read from Roosevelt Bitton. So she said, Roosevelt makes me think it's a woman actually. So she was trying to. Sorry.
It's a guy.
It's a guy. Okay.
My boy.
Okay, so he was trying to say that age, there are some things that older people can do. Older people are even emotionally stable and things like that. It's fine. I mean, if you prefer an older woman, it's very okay.
Power, cheat.
I mean, you even said, you made a powerful point. You said we can change anyone we want to change. We can change anyone we want to change, but the problem is we want to always see change there, maintenance. Now, this is what, when sometimes when I read comments like that, I feel like we are having a discussion here. We don't follow each other. Nobody said you cannot change somebody. And then if we want to say, we'll say, yes, obviously, when you want to change somebody or you want somebody to change from something, you have to give time. But now, why are we talking about age here? So you marry some papa where they 60 years, or you marry some mommy where they 70 years. You want me to mommy take the rest 30 years of your life for the change?
Emma,
Now the
why do you
process you
over
want
even
to do.
stretch them to the extremes? And so, why do you overstretch them to the extreme? I said, put only 50, they come down to 40. Take 20, and they just put them. They get two different angles. You take 70 today, they can't die.
So, all in all, guys, what I'm just trying to say is, please follow the discussion and don't get your mind blocked like it's something that follow it. You get where we are coming from. We are not
It's
denying.
like life's decision. It's like life's decision depends on this show. No.
Yeah, exactly. So it depends, We'll not get gone for here for 10 to the million must follow now the idea them. We are just bringing ideas so at the end of the day. Okay, so please let me come to you about
No, Nami, okay.
Delhi talked about medical. Are you getting me, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's echoing. I
Okay,
understand
so
why you're asking for a break-in. When you're talking, we need to be silent for your voice to really come out.
Okay. Okay, so Delhi talked about medical compatibility in a relationship. I want you to embed medical compatibility into age compatibility. If you really look at these things, most of these things you end up embedding them.
So arthritis, that's what you want to talk about.
No, this one go talk. And when we talk about medical compatibility, say that is sexual compatibility acting as medical. So that before our sister, the one they over argue, or our brother, the one they over talk age difference. Me then no say that bigger part for man.
Well, Emma, I just believe say you directed this question to me on purpose.
No, how? Why?
I see actually I see now the leader in a better position for answer this question. But since it's directed to me,
medical doctor.
now I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not a medical doctor. Well, but since it's been directed to me, then I'm going to see how my spirit will tackle it. The truth is, we are humans, and as each day passes on, we are wearing out. We can't see, even if it's my brother Denzel who goes to the gym 10 times for one day, at least as humans, it is by nature. We are wearing out, and our abilities in executing certain, especially physical activities, it has its limits. As days go by. That is part of our health. And then again, from our society, in our African society, we have other diseases that come along with our age, which is as a result of the kind of food we grew up eating, our habit and things like that. We've seen in many cases in African society where people, as you grow older, you pick up maybe diabetes, blood pressure, hypertension, and things like that. And we can't forget prostate and all the prostate for men and things like that. So if we have to look at health compatibility and age, it is something that we have to be aware. You see on when I used to go through Delhi's matchup and Denzel's viewpoint, you have some of your posts that you guys will post, and I come only there to look at comment. If you see the way these young girls, the way especially when it comes sexually, the way they demand from men, and then again, I used to ask myself, these same girls at this age, the sexual demands they make for younger guys, is it the same sexual demands they make to these old men?
No.
I used to ask this question.
No.
Is it the same?
It's not the same.
If not the same, that papa they will all they for don't die. All.
No, it's not the same. Maybe when it comes to my turn, I'm going to answer that question. It's not the same.
Yeah, then it means it means it means they are giving up when you are dating, like the younger girls getting these men at that age. When you decide to go for that, it means you are giving up your sexual pleasure. You are give sexual pleasure for Nyongo because you never get it. You just sacrifice and say, my entire shop, my entire shop, you sacrifice your sexual pleasure. Of course. So this is part of health. So if I'm trying to say I should link it up.
Yes.
Health compatibility with age. So this is one thing. If it has to be, this is one thing you should be ready to sacrifice your sexual pleasures if you are going for that. If you think age is not a number or whatsoever, and then again you should also be ready for what comes in the future. Like how I said, like most, it doesn't happen for everybody, but in most cases we see the overweight, blood pressure, hypertension. You know, these are illnesses that a woman who is married to her husband and they've lived for 30 years together, and her husband starts suffering from any of these diseases, she has that patience, she has that time. Maybe all of their kids have grown up, and now the husband now becomes the new kid in the house. It's okay for a woman. She
I
takes
like
that
that. I
time, she
like that
sacrifices,
explanation.
you know, there's that time there. But this is something that a 20-year-old girl cannot welcome. You can't welcome that. You can't welcome that fact that you have to wake up in the morning. You remember, say, and my husband in medicine, I make my husband get for drink for morning time, afternoon I get for drink this, and cooking his food, you know. This is, I don't think a 20-year-old girl is ready, or 25-year-old girl is ready for that at that age. You are not ready. Only mommy, the way they don't stay apart all that time, they have done that to kids. Kids have grown up and they have left the house. The husband is the new kid. That's why we can see they can withstand it. You see a woman whose husband is sick, they go to the hospital. She sleeps in the hospital. They even sleep on the floor. We see it. They put a mat on the floor. She stays there. Say, Papa, don't be for hospital for 6 months. It doesn't mean anything to her. But the question is, a younger girl of 2025, can you endure all that? So
exactly.
I don't think I have much to talk about this. Maybe Delhi, you can help me, but that's the little I can explain on that.
Okay, check this out. You don't turn principal in those days on a part the way they go give speech for 3 pages, can't finish talk, say I don't have much.
I don't have no parents. Then they advise their picking them after they don't talk for the whole day. They tell you, I don't have much to tell you.
I mean, this one in a nutshell. I just wanted to say you said a lot, even though maybe you didn't feel it, but you said a lot. I mean, deep. You said so many stuffs that we can collect from there. La fleur l'amour. Baby girl, it is you get some confession from Mekamu. It seems as if you're going to explain this age difference even in diagram and action. The way they talking, so that all people they didn't leave man. Girl, you know that thing. Your drawing diagram will understand that matter. La fleur l'amour, I'm saying this to you. Okay, so coming back to our point, yes, wait, first of all, you wanted to say something, right, sis, about that sexual issue, right?
Yeah, well,
You wanted to support.
Yes, he kind of explained it further. So I just wanted to let them know that at that point, that's what you say it's game of interest. That I was saying that the man, he was asking if these women have these same demands when it comes to an older man, and I'm saying no. You know why? Because the man has replaced those demands with money. So the girl knows that this is a game of interest. That's why we're talking about these things. Literally, is the sugar daddy and slave queens relationships. Remember, the girl has a goal. My own not the money, the money own not the sex. That's why you say when you start seeing now they go for instance, when you start seeing a woman going there and then emotions they start entering, it starts now that one day they work at the fight the man. Real sugar daddy, sugar baby relationship. Now one way na interest. You give me the sex, I give you the money. Now so it be because then too no say we are not on the same page. I'm only looking for what I cannot most likely have at home. And now when you start seeing this age thing again increases, see, check them. When you see man picking, where he over go down over for go find woman, it start ugly small picking in the long run. Check them. It start ugly small picking because it need for balance with the bikini world, or the girl start ugly oh mommy. Not be say they start ugly mature, you start ugly oh mommy because somehow you have to dress in a way that will match your husband. You have to speak in a way, your entourage and all of that. But most importantly, these people, because they don't have the energy anymore, this energy no day. That's why you hear they die until young girl them for hotels them. They don't have the energy to work. They're just calling you to come and service them. That means they may they sleep no, may touch their entire skin. But when now they the same age and all of that, you people are trying to satisfy each other. Sugar daddy tell you say he one can satisfy you. You know, get that time. Now you the can give you the money that more like he's buying services. I'm paying for your services. Come and touch my body, let my skin waka the way I want them. The girl on the other hand is saying that I need the nice things of life. Give it to me and I give it to you too. Now so it is. So when people are going about saying, oh, age is just a number, all like this and that, check all girl the way they don't marry. And before long, this song made a very powerful statement. When the power they don't die, they get and so they go with that mindset, so the power will die before them. You now go die before the power them. You know what, Shan? The power will die anytime soon. You'll finally die. Now the power will remain widower. You don't know the power nowadays. They need die. They need die again.
No, I know cases the way they don't wait till the man die.
Pass are yet to stay. They are yet to stay.
No, they need to stay. I mean, that I think in a nutshell, that is like you should be careful. Don't get into a relationship for this kind of selfish reasons, because if you really bounce it, you should only wait years after years, me man die, they agree that you did it. Sometimes you become a very sad wife, a very sad husband because you're waiting
bitter,
for somebody
and then
to die.
cheating. Oh, cheating. Anyway, go ask your question before I take your question.
Yes, and then you turn a big man for cheating. Linda, be careful. Now you know if you call a big papa a name, if you woman a name. Now you know. You don't just call her carelessly. I'll be trying to speak in quote. You just call the thing. You don't call big papa a woman a name for you. Okay, so coming back to you, Delene. Yes, you said something. I know you did not say something. I want you to say something about now. I want us to, people always look at this. I know I asked you before. I asked you to kind of I asked you if age difference in a relationship should be gender defined. So you explained what you did. I want us to look at the side of the women now. Because each time when we talk about this age difference, you see, we almost go lean at the side, say, man, marry or papa. You marry ancestor in or papa. So we kind of almost minimizing ancestor in or mommy, or not even necessarily or mommy, not even looking at that very age gap, but the fact that the lady is older than you. Do you think that it can unconsciously affect submission?
Oh, I think that's a beautiful one. It's a beautiful twist there. Yeah, you know that, like I was saying there, when these young, very old men, they go for the younger men, younger women, they have it at the back of their minds that they are looking for somebody who would respect them. So in that, by so doing, they go and they want domination, but they will term it respect. But which is somehow understood because the man always wants a woman that is under them, that they can express themselves, all their masculine qualities and all of that. On the flip side, for a woman, the woman doesn't necessarily need the respect. The woman at that point in time wants to be serviced. And because the woman wants to be serviced and is paying for, the young boy, on the other hand, knows that I just need for respect, Irimi. I just need for respect because that's what will bring about what I need in life. So you always have this relationship of cougars and gigolos used for the most part. So a gigolo knows that, okay, I don't need to talk for the mommy anyhow. I don't need to talk for you anyhow. At that point in time, the woman cannot be submitting to you because somehow you have usurped the position of a man. Normally, it's a man who is supposed to be doing all of those things, but you as a woman, you've taken it upon yourself. So now you will definitely ask for respect, whereas the man was supposed to be asking. And because the boy as well has sold his own rights and sold his position as a man, he now takes the position of a woman, which is under. So that is it. Now, but again, it is easier if we are going by age but we already stretch the age gap. If you are going by marrying your age group and the normal setup that we advocate for, yes, the men normally would want a woman who is younger than them. Like I said earlier, you're looking at somebody who is your big brother for starters, just knowing that, okay, this person is my big brother, this person is my, that submission is a bit easier. Okay, it becomes easier when the man is higher than you. That's the man is older than you slightly. We're talking about now at the level of slightly older. So the thing is, I think it's a mental game. It's because I've seen older women who submit still to younger men. Again, when the age group, I'm not stretching it too far, when the age group is just, yes. So submission at the end of the day, because you can still see these very young girls that you're going in and saying, I'm looking for, they disrespect you more than, see, you don't see place where this small girl, they talk for Obade. So yes, they are going with the mindset of, I'm going for somebody who will just be saying yes to me and saying yes. Before long, when that guy eye open, you become so frustrated because the girl now will not tolerate most of those things. And then she flares out and she's talking to you like so you be picking because you've brought yourself down to her level.
Yeah.
Yes. So that issue of submission at the end of the day, especially when it had to do with interest, the submission not the work. You need to work. When I just focus on our interest and then leave the rest. But this, if it has to do with submission, now maybe now the right age group, the one that you and I are advocating for, that we know, okay, at this level, the woman has to submit, whether or not you be big woman. But I get it. Most men are scared that when the woman is older than me, I will not get the submission. Again, it translates to going down to that very low age group to get a wife. I don't know if I answered your question.
Yes.
Yeah, Deli, can I please?
And even on the part of the woman too.
Yeah,
the woman sometimes we women on our part, I think I had to say this. We prefer men who are older than us, even if for one day, just older than us, because I'm not gonna end my point. Is my end we get to the top one. I'm saying we just prefer that older than us, even for one day factor. It plays on our minds to think that you are bigger, because some women have the tendency of beating men. Don't just hold a man beat them.
Well,
I don't care to
Emma.
Yeah,
no, Emma get to answer it because me and Emma get serious argument with the age.
What I wanted to add is I read from this lady. She talked about. I just want to come in because Deli, you talked about submission. I read from this girl. Her name this Vicky Fokala. No, from Vicky Fok. She wrote something about about submission, which really interested. It's so interesting. It caught my interest, and she tried to explain. And men, especially us, we've got it wrong a lot with that. The issue of we think submission can actually come from only these girls who are small and poor and vulnerable, We think that's where submission comes from, but instead it's not submission, it's poverty. Because she really explained submission to be the ability of a woman to listen and take decision from a man, even though she has the ability and authority and power to do things for herself.
Perfect.
Yes.
You understand? It means you have money, a woman who has money, and maybe she's grown up, she can get whatever she wants for herself, and she can take any decision for her life by herself, but she still prefers to listen to a man. That's what we call submission. Because so many men, we are scared of these women that we call today career women, because we think they can't be submissive. And then we go now to these girls who don't have jobs, they don't have any money, and then we use our money now, we get them into our hands, and then we start telling them what to do. They will listen to us and do all these things just because they are poor,
yes.
and that's what they want. They have to do to get what they want. But if you have to see, the true submission is to get it from a woman who has her money. She has a job. If she wants to wear Gucci, she can buy. She wants to buy a phone, she can get it. And then she still stays in your house and listen to you. It was so interesting when I read from this girl. So actually, that's the true level of submission. And I conclude that it's easy to identify submission from an independent woman.
Yes, yes.
Than this slave queen. Yes. And we see so many girls, bushfallers, you go back home, you bring these girls who have nothing to do back home.
Thank you for saying that.
They come here, the moment they come here, they are submissive from Cameroon. The moment they come here,
their eyes open.
They become independent, no more submission. They are not submissive anymore. But if you get an independent woman, she's submissive from day one. She'll be submissive till the last day.
I love that, Bison. I love that, seriously.
That Vicky post, is there any way it could find itself on Daddy's Matchup?
I have a video in that live.
Just go to our page, you will see it.
I really like that, because we wouldn't have looked at it. Someone just summarized it. You use your money to buy submission.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, it's wonderful. And so, see, Deli, you see that coin where you touch her? Guys,
I know you talk about that, but let me first of all give shout out to Vicky before it come out. It's Vicky Fokala, okay? I mean, she's one of the finest when it comes to especially MCing. I love her MCing. She does an amazing job. So shout out to her. She's into every other thing that I know, entertainment, but I love her MCing beat the most, yeah. So this was in line with what she wrote. So we're giving you a shout out. Yeah. Shout out to you, Vicky Fokala, for that insightful contribution. Emma, you see that point now? You just yourself go explain that point. You see me, so sorry, explain that point. Because I don't get the problem like you. Now you get that problem. Me and you, with the reason I like for that particular thing, but differ for some extent, because you exaggerate on the extent, and I don't really exaggeration. I beg.
Guys, see, that exaggeration is not intentional. Let me people see, if you come to me for advice about getting married to a younger guy, trust me, I'll be like, hey, are you okay? Are you compatible? Fine. But when I hear that say, they just say, please never say do what I say, but don't I do right. If me, now me, I there for that position. I want you to be even 1 year older than me, to be honest. Now, this really, like I said, it happens unconsciously. It's not intentional. I've tried harder, because always there's this issue of, somebody is younger and then you're like, okay, no problem. If you're younger, it's no problem. Especially Daddy is fond of, no, sis, when person be younger, I'll be okay. That's 3 years. I mean, really simple. That 2 years, I'll be like, okay, mercy. Before you know,
let it be known that the age difference when we are the top. No, specify and fine. Let it be known that the age difference when we already talk about now 1 year and 2 years and 3 years old, because me no be better, the talk has some long age.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like that 2, 3 kind of. Yes, when
Emma no one man where he pass it for 1 second. Emma pass the man for 1 second. For age,
honestly,
you marry my way passing for 5 years.
For 10 years,
you don't always be proven beyond reasonable doubt. Say all that cases the way they just say, okay, no problem. Age is just a number. I thought say since population say age is just a number, let me also follow. Before you know it, they already tell you, say, this is a child. And then you do that. So I was really dealing with a child. I'll be like, hey, honestly, I know that women will have this problem. And this is it, because like Deli rightly said, here, we have it here. You know, it has its way of playing. Because if I cannot, I never thought, say, if I cannot submit to your vision and your everything, it means it cannot work. So if you be man way, yes.
So if you be question. He might ask you question. So if you meet us on old man, whether old man no really you are mentally, physically, that will not be compatible, maybe older than you, and you meet up a young guy where he be all that mentally compatible and all of that physically, you're gonna for which one? That age go still overplay for you.
Sis, no, I know one ancestor. You say no, I don't like ancestor for my life.
No, I mean,
now,
no be Bamba and Bay, no be ancestor.
Yeah, you want, okay. No.
I mean, Bamba and Bay, no be ancestor.
How the cases they sound funny. So, see, but that other case, you see that other younger case, no. If he be emotionally advanced level, mature, sometimes I'm not gonna know. But you know something, me is skin really sure say be big boy, even though he's young. See, I don't
exactly that's what. Yeah, Emma, see, you see the way for backstage, man brings on to it, be some be talk and don't know be here. When you talk say this, so then you can't still be a woman at the end of the day. At the end of the day, they begin quality goes.
At the end, okay, this one not at the end.
Oh, you hear that Congo say?
I get a time. It's gonna get a time.
At the end of the day, right? That this thing go still come on. Even if you know what me, you still constantly ask yourself, say, so the boy stand. So if they toss me men the wrong junction, you to go. Because you're just like, what am I doing here? You know? So like if they really toss me, they go run about as men. You see, you really go, you go.
No. Well, maybe you can go around though. For this particular age thing, trust me, I think that if you as a woman, you're not good at going down like anybody that is lower than you, no force them. Don't force it. Because at the end of the day, you start treating the man like a kid. Unconsciously though, not that you intentionally want it. You just be feeling a big man. You start feeling old. You, the woman, you start feeling old. You have to do sports all the time. You have to keep fit just so that you don't look like, say, I be mommy and all of that. If you are not comfortable, don't force it. But if you think you can manage it, then keep your feet, you know, maybe you're getting them, you know.
Yeah, let me try and say something.
Sorry, before you come in shortly, let me answer a question. Somebody asked, Ben or Young, you asked if we ask age before we fall in love. Oh, yes, sis, I do. What about this on a brother? I asked age before I fall in love. My love gave breaks in the job for.
The first day, the first question, how old are you?
Now, the first that he asked, how old are you? Before you discuss, maybe then I'll take 5 years old, age on pickle, be some. I beg you. So,
hey, what I would say.
Yes.
Una not listen to Emma. Una not listen to Emma. Before una go to now, una master the way the young person. Okay.
Yeah.
Come on, then say
yeah. I wanted to say something. You know, one of the first reasons why we are dealing with all these is because I think we have lost the real basics of what marriage and how it all started. You know, I've been listening to how you people are talking about, and I kind of feel like it's very important that I come in from this direction. Some people might not agree with it, but when you go back in the 50s, right? Women in the 50s, marriage was like 20, or let me say 21 for women in the 50s. And these women, they were getting married to men of 23 and 24, right? After that period, a two generation comes forward, or let me say 2 decades, that's 20 years. moves forward, there was a shift of all this marriage thing. The age of women to get married within that period has shifted to 27, and men now move to 31, or let me say 30 and 31. Within all, during all this period, a lot of beautiful things were happening when it comes to marriage. And it was within this period that marriage was based on more economical terms, like your papa get big estate, and the other family have a beautiful woman, but they realized that men were more of providing, right? So, okay, you, this woman, this man have these acres of land, this is your husband. After this period, now there was a shift that comes in. I'm sure we all know about that. The Industrial Revolution. Industrial Revolution, when it came, it also affected marriage, both positive and negative. And whatever we are discussing here today now, it's a negative side of this Industrial Revolution, how it affected marriage. People start to work. People leave now the estate. They move into industries. They started working. Women move into industries. They started working. People start to make money. People move into bigger cities. Education came in. People started going, chasing, pursuing different things. With all this development now, it gives women, let me say, it lowers the values of marriage. People do not see how potent marriage it is any longer, because now they can afford. Psychologically, it is still a very important part of the social being of us. But because people go for these other things because of the Industrial Revolution, they want to work, they want to make their own money, they want to go to school. People now shifted their age of getting married. Now that's why now you see women now, they are still 35. They still do not find marriage that important. Like, hey, let me go and get my PhD. And I know probably we'll talk about that. I don't know if we have time. We'll talk about that on education, right? I don't know if we have the time. So
Yeah,
where we are today, we are struggling with this age thing. Women, let me say it's a negative side of this development that has brought us wherever we are today. But because marriage is still very important within us, you are now at that age of 35 or 40, or let's say 30. Men of 50.
Sorry, no, I'm not laughing at you.
Men of 50, they are still there. Probably like you said, either they were married or they are, how do they call it again, widowers and stuff like that, right? Now they are trying now to go to go down or to younger women. All these things, they really stem from all this Industrial Revolution. Why I wanted to say that, because this is really the history of how our parents, they were getting married. If you have your grandma, look at your grandma's age when she got married to your dad or your grandfather or whatsoever. You will see that
Denzel, not cutting you to ask a question in line with what you said. Does this Industrial Revolution change? Does it work only on the part of the woman? Because if it's the same shift, logically speaking, if it's the same shift, the woman takes more time now to get married. I think it doesn't. The man as well take more time to get married, and it sort of balances it at some point on the scale. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, no, it doesn't affect just the women, right? But again, you have to be realistic in the world. Well, like we are living in this world, things are happening, right? Women have a biological clock, and men do not have that, right? Men do not have that. Okay, men also, let me say, men hit the wall, women hit the wall too. But the way we hit the wall is completely different. It's completely
well, I get it. It's okay. Just go ahead. I get it. I was just trying to know, but you've answered the question then.
Yeah, okay. So the way that happens is completely different. So if we can try to go back a little bit, maybe talk to our parents, how it was done back then. This is a part of history that I'm really aligned with. Like when we talk about the age thing, I kind of feel like the 2, 3, 4, 5 years, it's really okay. You understand?
Okay.
But when we started crossing 10, it's a wahala for me. So I just say, no, about all what you guys are discussing, let me just add that so people can benefit, or maybe it works with them enough.
It's okay. I mean, I was laughing at the comment that is on the screen. When Emma comes there, maybe Emma can. Oops.
This one.
Yeah, I was laughing at that comment. That's why what I was laughing at when this was speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is it. Love ne jo kana first day not sister Ayo or my brother Ayo. Now love if you don't keep an house on place with me the love job for Omidua. Love it's a kind of, it's a gradual process, and then you get to really know somebody before you just let the things slip like that. So that before me no slice for the quack you fall before you start discover plenty thing and say you know even be compatible with person for plenty area. Yes, guys. So thanks so much. Maybe we have a short commercial break now and come back. So we change the gear for our discussion. Now so we'll get into another gear. Very important. So commercial break, please.
Hey, darling.
Hello, honey.
I brought you this.
You got me a new blender.
Oh, yes. Thanks to the more money I've been receiving through MoneyFX.
How come?
I receive more money through MoneyFX because they have the best exchange rates as compared to the last senders I was receiving.
Meaning you've been saving more?
Oh, yes. Use MoneyFX to receive more for less from abroad with their best exchange rates and save more. Always find the best rates to Cameroon with MoneyFX. Receive more money through MoneyFX today. MoneyFX, fast, easy, and cheap money transfer service to Cameroon.
September is around the corner, and there is no better time to embark on your journey for studies in the UK than now. Are you looking for an opportunity to study in the UK? Do you want to graduate as a critical thinker and to gain the skills employers are looking for? Do you want to study a course in the shortage occupation list of the UK? Would you like to gain work experience by taking advantage of a 2 years post-study work visa? Would you like to study a science, technology, engineering, and mathematics degree to enable easy access to a permanent residence after graduation? FK Global Education Ventures got you covered. FK Global Educational Ventures will primarily evaluate, assess, and advise you on the necessary requirements of admission, assist you in choosing from over 300 courses, assist you gain admission into any university of your choice, helps you with your visa applications, assist you with accommodation, airport pickups, and settling in the UK. For more information, do contact us on the details you see on your screens. Thank you and God bless.
Hi guys, this is Relationship Hot Topics. Welcome back from the commercial break. If you're just joining us, Relationship Hot Topics on the topic, age and educational differences in relationships. So guys, Thomas had, I didn't get had, okay, this is what I wanted to say. I've been wondering, like, there was something I wanted to say before we could go for the break. I'm not getting the hat. I don't understand. Before, hats used to fly around the place, just be flying like that.
I tell you, say, people are just so angry now. Please share the video.
Anger or they're so comfortable with the sound.
We don't even have that much of people who have shared. Now, which they this one see. I'm not seeing sharer alongside your name.
I'm telling you,
just start blocking
when
it.
you share, it shows up.
And I saw my country people they flop to this. Oben Eyong, just share. Hey, before I take you to Manfe.
say, would I didn't see me share that for people that name
I
them, but when I
say,
don't she don't quite see them they on top on a couch, then now I enjoy it. I always see people saying good topic, learning platform. Oh my god, I'm so happy I'm here.
share.
You don't get family members here.
Share the video
Okay,
before I
so
block.
welcome back. I mean, I'll see it's increasing. Yeah, views are increasing. Share. Yeah, Larissa, you're late, but you're not so. If you haven't lost everything, at least you can watch the video later. So welcome back, guys. Before we go into the other game, there's a point Bison made about looking at the woman's age difference depending on the number of kids he wants to have, or if he wants to have kids. It kind of like, okay, I thought maybe you could just say something about this just shortly. Does it mean those who are not interested in having children now, so it means that they put if it be okay for them to go find some omami? In a nutshell, what I'm trying to ask is, should age now depend on the person's reasons for getting married? Like, for example, I'm getting married really because I'm ready for procreation.
Emma, don't forget. You are trying to make my answer to be a general answer. Don't forget that you asked this question was an individual question. You asked me, can you marry a woman? You understand? You asked me, and I gave you my answer, and you don't try to take my answer to generalize it as if I'm speaking for everyone. Don't forget, eh?
I said,
Deli and Denzel, are you guys with me?
As you talk this song, when I asked you as an individual, it was just a leeway to ask you a question that
No, my concern that the way Bison take life very seriously today. I don't understand whether I say something happen with Bison for workplace or
that I asked you a question, it can also help others to learn from it. That's why we're speaking to an audience and not to ourselves. One
Okay, ask me now.
They don't increase in salary. They increase salary.
No, they don't say reduce the salary for work. You don't care how come put our head.
Anyway, guys, let's go now. So let's change it and get into education. The topic, the one that be very important. I think I'll start from because Denzel just spoke, right?
No, I haven't.
I don't.
Okay.
That Denzel just.
I thought Denzel
come up outside. I'm not come out outside industrial revolution. And that's
our contribution to
Where God is really industrial revolution. Okay, maybe it was just contributing now. So it's Denzel's turn to speak now.
Denzel
contribution. Wait, that long history has not a contribution.
On a serious note, even Mrs. I don't video imagine I just short contribution.
Hey, I don't think ever agree. I can never accept.
Una vote made a vote for comment. Now who is speak? Now who is to speak now?
There's an only that means in short, you're just the contributor and contribute for the thing. You don't get 10 on your own. You got only a contribution. Nah. No.
Guys, do you want to tell us who is
Please, who is to speak next? Because I'm confused. Even host, when a host supposed to tell people the time for speak, they don't confused.
On a serious note,
quiet, the listeners when I talk that one.
No, Denzel.
You come, who give you floor. You talk a whole, give you industrial revolution history. No man no talk. The only one answer is saying a contribution. You just contribute. That means as from today for this show, I won't nearly just give contribution. So you don't get the speaking time of your own. We don't cancel you.
They said I've been on the tongue now, and I've been on comment section. So I've been on
me. You see, where I thank Kunaya. See, at least for once, The comment section has stood on my favor for once. Comment section ever against me.
Hey, but
For
some
once,
people
you
are
guys.
writing Denzel again.
There are many people also saying Denzel is the one to speak. So, but
No,
let's
I
go now.
understand Denzel. I understand Denzel because Denzel came in to give a contribution.
I don't know how to tell
Now
you.
when
I don't know
now when
how
it doesn't now when it doesn't tenant can't landlord, you can't give contribution. You sit down on top the chair, you take the time.
Where?
Bishop, I beg. Denzel, we Denzel can't take a position. Denzel, please come back, Denzel, come back. Let's so that I can not finally go
What
on
did you
the
say?
But there's a
Okay.
speak or speak. I'm listening.
No, yes, Denzel, let's come back so that now it can be easy to go chronologically. Okay, so now let's come to education because now education. This is also something that
Wow.
seems to be, it seems to be a thing. Yet some people do not consider, or maybe they look at it like, and then at one point you start getting people start complaining. Then say, what's your take on relationship and education?
Well, I think firstly, education is a very important thing in all aspects of life. And it doesn't matter where you gain your education, as you are educated, you have acquired something really good. Now, let's try to see how we can incorporate these when it comes to relationship. This falls under intellectual compatibility, in my perspective. This is where it falls. Has education increase or bring in a peaceful atmosphere when we talk about relationship? I think yes. Has it also stabilized relationship atmosphere? I would also say yes, because there are people whom like they have exaggerated the
Hey,
whole thing.
you're echoing, Denzel. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, I can hear that. I don't know. Is it disturbing?
Yes. Well, speak now. Let's see. Something maybe my talking has adjusted it. Just speak now. Keep speaking. Let's hear.
Okay. I think some people have
It's still
exaggerated it.
there. It's still there.
Okay.
Bison, can you hear him?
I can the same complaint you have is the same I can hear.
Okay, so what should I do?
All of us should mute ourselves. Let's mute ourselves except Denzel.
Okay, like I was saying, I think some people have exaggerated the whole thing because there are a bunch of people, and I think it falls on both gender. There are men out there and there are women out there who they have taken education and they have placed it at a very high pedestal. Like you need to have a master's degree or you need to have a PhD. And if they have a PhD, they feel like they cannot date or get married to a woman who doesn't have a PhD or a master's degree. Personally, what I think these are not, it's not that very necessary in as much as this person can understand how to function with you. I think if this person can incorporate their intelligence, do you people have a common intelligence? Can you people work together? If you people can work together, I think it will go a long way instead of using it as a barrier, saying that you need to have a degree. And I've seen people that they have a very high intelligent quotient, that is IQ, but their EQ, which is for emotional intelligence, they are really backward. So I kind of feel like we should not really use that as a measuring rod into our relationship because it doesn't really help to enhance the relationship. What if everyone decide to go for people within their standard? Then there will be no relationship. So I kind of feel like people need to understand these things. No, a PhD or a master's degree does not really work. And I see degrees or master's degree very important for people who, like, when you are married, it is very necessary because it helps to support your man or your woman. But when you are in the dating field, it doesn't really work, in my opinion. I feel like people do not take that into consideration, except you're crazy. Because at the end of the day, men or women, like, it's not something that they should take into consideration. But in marriage, when you are married and you have a master's degree and you're married already, that helps you with your husband to work. But when you are in the dating field, it doesn't really count, in my opinion. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys can unmute now yourself now.
Okay. Yeah, Denzel. So,
Emma, I have a
um,
question, please. Sorry to cut you. This
okay.
education we're talking about, is it formal education or because we should know, you know?
Formal education, at least that's what we can measure.
Okay.
Yes. That's the one we can measure. We talk about informal education, and if we want to look at it that way, a lot of people are educated, yes, even without going to school. There's some level of
Mm-hmm.
interaction. Now we are talking about the things we can measure.
Mm-hmm.
But so far, formal education is the one we can measure. So yes,
Okay.
thank God you asked this question. Let me come now to you. First of all, Denzel talked about if I understood Denzel well, it seems like it shouldn't really matter. Denzel, please just indicate by sign if you're muted, if that's what you meant. Okay. Yes. So I don't know if you agree with Denzel that it shouldn't really matter, and if you agree, doesn't it somehow cancel intellectual compatibility we were talking about? And if not, what do you think? But on the other side too, you're going to take it on both sides. What will you tell a man who is concerned about an educated, highly educated woman than himself, and he comes to you for advice on that?
Uh, well, not trying to minimize or discredit education. You understand? It's a life learning tool, you know. It's something that you would need, we use it. It helps us in everything we do. But the idea of bringing education in relationship is a complete no for me.
Okay.
Because over the years, I have my reasons for saying so, because the character and behavioral aspects which are much more welcome in relationship, education hasn't been able to build that in so many humans. Education doesn't make, I don't know if I'll say this right, but I just have to say it. It doesn't make a man a better husband, and it doesn't make a woman a better wife.
Okay.
It's a life learning tool that it helps us to overcome a lot of challenges. But we have seen educated husbands maltreated their wives. We have seen educated husbands killing their wives. We have seen so many horrible things done by educated men and educated women. So we can't use education in measuring a husband or a partner per se.
Yeah.
Education will help us in designing that wonderful goal, the wonderful vision we have. It will help us, and it helps us to acquire this vision. But do we think the other party that we are bringing into our lives must acquire the same level of education that we have acquired? I'm using this level, the same level, because when I ask here if it's formal or informal, you ask if You ask if you told me, which I really, really appreciate. You said it at least let's use formal education because it's what we can measure. Now, I have seen so many special requests that people say, people insist they want a woman with at least a bachelor degree. Now, I want to ask, how does an advanced level girl and a bachelor degree holder differ when it comes to being a better partner? Because I don't get it.
Yeah.
You are muted, Delhi.
Can I step in and answer the question, Emma?
Yeah?
Is this song done so that when your contribution come, then you just enter one time for your distance so that this song, are you done? You need Delhi to now come in and answer? Or
If she can permit me finish. Well, I see cases where now I see people that I know the place where people want their partners in way that they can represent the family. They want people who are educated, who can represent their family, who can speak in public, who can address men who want this woman who is able to address his friends when they come home in a moral, educated way, high sounding words in English, all the etiquette, all this being ethical and things like that. Well, it's a good thing. But then, before that, marriage is at home, even before you want to look for public. It's what happens at home first. Because we have cases where they say they bite and blow, where you go to a home, everything is bright. As a guest, everything is bright. The woman is smiling, the man is smiling. The moment you leave, it turns a war. So am I asking that, is the education, how important is it in a home when they are using it only to address people who are not involved in that home? I don't know if you get my point. Delia, you wanted to answer my question.
Okay, so Delhi, what you do is maybe you answer, just get into your point, and then if you don't touch the points that I wanted to ask you as your own point, then I would also I might step in again to ask. So go on and just talk into your point.
Okay. Yeah. I was to a considerable extent. I agree with them saying that education is not the ultimate, but it is a very important aspect. Remember, we sit here, we're talking about compatibility. And if you rule out education, it will not make sense with the other compatibility aspects. Now, we have exceptional cases on the platform that, because you're saying, how does education help in marriage? I can also ask you, how does spirituality help? How does vision help? If you are not, remember, there's educational compatibility and / intellectual compatibility. And you people have boxed everything together. And I would say it's not the same. You can go to school, have all the certificates you have, but your intellect is really low. My major point I was trying to state is that if you discard education and say it doesn't matter, it matters a lot. It's just like the thing about age. We talked about differences in schools of thought, the old generation and then the Android. That will be too much of a gap. So you see somebody at the PhD level getting to get married to somebody at first school living certificate, there's usually incompatibility with the way they reason. First of all, just going to school, you're exposed to a lot of things. It is not just about character development. It is also about knowing things that happen in life, having a different status, having a different entourage, and all of that. Your having a girl who is just an advanced level, first school living certificate, or a man who is just at that level, the tendency is the reason at that level. They don't have that much exposure. We're not just talking about character. Character is not the only thing. That's why people will leave women with character and still go cheat with women who are exposed and who can help them handle business. You are talking about vision. How can somebody who doesn't understand your vision help you build that vision? Sometimes it would take a level of intellectual compatibility to get your vision to that level. Excuse you, you can't talk about education doesn't matter. It matter over matters, and that's why I said on the platform, a boy cannot be an illiterate, quote unquote, because like you said, we're going by formal, at least that is measurable. A boy cannot be an illiterate, and you're sending a girl to the university. That's why 9 out of 10 times, my own statistics, the woman will go and say no to the guy. You know why? In a TC itself, like they did for the same class. And I'm not saying you two must have the master's degree, you two must have PhD, but at least, may you don't even get to the level of university, then you can understand. And even if, that's why you see most of the people who are not of the same educational or intellectual level, when they get married to people, they actually want to push them to go ahead. They may just leave them for that level. That's why they'll go to evening schools. That's why they'll go and advance there. Just so that, because it is not just that time you marry, it is in the long run. I have a vision. When I look at you, you don't fit in. I need to sponsor you to get to that level, because whether or not we agree to this thing, it matters. That's why people who have not gone to that level of education, even when you have gone, the complex could be on the side of the man, of the person who has not been very much educated. I'm sorry that I'm slanting like this, because I need to charge my phone and I'm using my phone just so that somebody is not thinking is disrespectful to lie down and be talking to people. So the fact that you, even on the other side, because we're talking like this and we're looking at it like, okay, the people that don't go to school, they always have this superiority complex. The people who have not gone to school as well find it difficult to relate, because somehow everything is a problem to them. Oh, now because I not go school, now why do you talk for me so? Oh, now because of this and that. At that level, it's not just about character. You want
because
somebody
those who went to school become arrogant.
That's why I'm saying that not necessary. You see the arrogance in most of those people, because especially when there's too much gap. It is not necessarily arrogance. That's why you call somebody an arrogant person, and another person will call that same person an intellect. I just need us to know, and that would greatly depend on the schools of thought and the level of exposure that both parties have. If you are now, it will be a big error for us to sit here and say educational compatibility or intellectual compatibility, but it matters a great deal. The people who don't go to school could still very well think in a particular way and all of that, but there's usually the inferiority complex that sets in. They start thinking, the over one claim na book. Even when the woman or the man who is more educated is just being honest to say something, you always look at it in the light of, I did not go to school, that's why you're treating me like that. So there's the need for you to improve on yourself. If you got married to somebody who is very much educated, to improve on yourself. Otherwise, there is a matter of time. That's what we're talking about, compatibility. It is not just when you got married, because it is one thing to get married and yet another to stay married. And we're bringing up these compatibility factors for us to stay married. And if we don't put in these things, in the long run, this particular aspect is one of those things that will break marriage. I just wanted to put for us to get that point right. I don't know if it answered the question you wanted to ask.
Maybe let me ask. But I'm asking, like, how does it make, like, if you're a literate person, how does that make you? How does that make you a better person?
Yes, if you're a literate person, you have.
Deli, you're going to answer. You answer this something. Let me also add this something, because it seems as if at one point Bisong himself has also taken us like he's confused about discussion. Like Deli said in the beginning, we are talking about compatibility here. So this is it. It's not about any person being educated. That's not the point. It's about you who is educated. Are you okay with somebody who is not educated? Are you people compatible? That's our point here. It doesn't mean that before anybody goes to get married, you have to be educated. No. On the contrary, somebody might not want to be educated because his or her spouse is not educated, so they don't want any high things. So they are compatible. Our point is you who is already educated. Are you okay with somebody who is not even at least educated? So that's the focus, actually. So, the legal on, please.
Yes, on the issue of asking how does education work, that's how educational compatibility. You have a vision. There are visions that a first school living certificate holder will not understand. Because maybe your vision, for instance, people who deal in complex things like all this latest trade, you talked about industrial revolution, how much we have morphed from all the analog world into the digital. Look at it right now. Somebody who has not gone to school will not be able to understand your vision that much. This is not about the character, it is about the vision, and which is very much of essence. So you think about it. You have a wife who has a good character, can cook, and all of that, but your vision, the person is completely lacking. Man, not even talk for the level of read and write. The person says that not even is paying name, so one another, and you're gonna say that it doesn't matter. It does matter. Because, like I said, character is not the only thing that matters in marriage. Yes, it has a great part. Then the fun is that, again, with the way we define terms greatly changes as we are as far as we're exposed. So you will look at a woman, you say this woman get good character because of the naivety and lack of exposure and maybe lack of education. You start look at the woman, like say the woman a liability for your vision. You start look at it, and in the long run, like this woman is just, I don't know, this woman is, the character, the character or the chop character now. Now if you start to look now a woman where if you handle your business when you're not there, when you are sick, can this woman represent me somewhere? When you are all of that, where most likely sometimes that woman where if you represent, even get the character. I was just trying to balance that just so that we know that all of these
Yeah,
compatibility aspects
but that,
have a place in marriage.
Delhi, I'm talking from so many different dimensions, I'm not trying to, excuse me, I'm not really trying to say you are wrong, or I'm not trying to insist that I'm right, but I just need some explanations. I'm looking at practical things like, let's see how far we've gone, like from school, like all for those who started dating earlier, secondary school, you get to the university, you are dating just, if it's not your classmate, then it's your schoolmate. These people, at least if we have to talk about educational compatibility, at some point they may be compatible. At some point they are in the same school, they're in the same classroom, maybe they love this one or two courses or subjects the same, they really like, something like that. But we've seen these relationships that have existed over time, boom, when they finish school, they gain independence. Most likely these people, they don't even stay again together. People start choosing partners from different directions. They don't even know about their educational history. They just know, you went to this school, this went to this school, they come together. If educational compatibility was that strong as you're talking about, once we've seen people, partners who identify themselves like course mates or whatsoever, they love the same subjects together. Such a thing, such a bond, it could have been so strong that they would just live together and grow and get married and stay together because they are because the way you talk about educational
Now
compatibility,
let me say that. I get you.
it's like it encompasses 80% of a relationship. That's
No,
why I really want to.
You're
no.
getting it
We
totally
started.
wrong.
You're getting it wrong.
You're
When we
getting it
started
totally
the
wrong.
show,
I
Emma
think
asked me to
I am
leave.
getting something wrong as well. I'm getting something wrong as well.
Can you meet? Somebody has to mute themselves for it echoing. Maybe Bison. Okay, Bison. I think that you're getting it wrong on that aspect. Why? Because when we started, remember, Emma asked me to list the different compatibility factors. These are things when they are put together would give high chances for a relationship to work. Not that you can pick one factor and run with it. That's why we were saying that apart from the age, remember I mentioned when we got to age, I said that you can look at the other compatibility factors and say this one ticks more. And because of this other one, I would ignore. Because of this other one, we can just leave it at that. When you ask me that, so it means that the people who went to school, they could go to school, they are educationally and intellectually compatible, but spiritually they are not very compatible. Age-wise, they are not compatible. Culturally, that's why I mentioned the other compatibilities, because we are talking about everything. It is not just one thing that will matter. When you are looking for a wife, do you just go by, okay, the woman come out from a tribe and that's it? No. you take the cultural part of it, there's still other things you have to look at it. Now, is it every girl with character? This song where you talk about character, if you marry her? No, physical compatibility. That's why when we go to educational and mental compatibility, I'm like, it is also of the essence. You cannot brush it aside. And if we brush educational compatibility aside, we might as well brush the entire topic of compatibility. So I'm saying that, yes. So I'm saying that for us to sit and say that, it doesn't matter. No, we're doing ourselves a disservice, or we're making a grievous error, because maybe now we did for the platform with so many exceptional cases.
Billy, can I say something, please?
Yes, please.
See,
Thank you.
Sorry, before you say it right, let me clarify something, because it might help you too, because I think you also said you were getting something wrong. This song, I think you misinterpreted the meaning of educational competence, because the example you gave was way out of what we are even talking about. Educational compatibility doesn't mean that because I did accounting in school, it means I must get married to an accountant.
No.
Because I did economics, it means I must get married to an economics or a doctor. It means all man so. Doctor means, and that's all for the operate. That's not what we're talking about.
I think it's at the level of certificates even. Remember, we talked about PhD and advanced school living certificates. Those are that level.
Certificate here, not even what you people study. It's not our business. It's not even what on our go second heart together, on our Lady of Law together, man and woman. That's not our problem. Our problem is the certificate you have achieved. If you, as a master degree holder, can you get married to a woman who has not gone to school at all, and maybe she went and did her tailoring in one workshop, and she's just doing her tailoring,
which is also education, Emma, but informal. Remember, you specify exactly.
That's informal. But get what I'm saying? Is that okay for you? Are you fine that if you're having an intellectual discussion with your colleagues, or not colleagues, even at home, your woman cannot take part, or she's not even allowed? No problem. You talk, say they no kind of man talk as you talk from the beginning. So, but this is what we are trying to say. It's not about what you people did, the course-wise. No, it's about the certificate. Are you okay with this? That's the question we are asking here. So, Denzel, please, you can go on now.
Yes, there is something there that I really don't understand. I don't know if I'm the one who's wrong, but I kind of feel like when we talk of intellectual compatibility, right, it's not about the level of education that one's acquired. You can have a PhD, you get married to a woman who also have a PhD, probably in a different field. You people are not intellectually compatible. Intellectual compatibility, it's more of respecting people's intelligence, their opinions, their thoughts. So you can have a master's degree, you're married to a woman with an advanced level, right? If that woman can respect your opinion, your intelligence, and you give that same mutual respect to that woman's thoughts about her a high school certificate, then you people are intellectually compatible. I don't know if I'm wrong, but I believe this is how it's not about the certificates that you
Denzel, we talked of educational compatibility / intellectual compatibility, and I was intentional about proving that point at the beginning, so I made mention of that. Maybe you people did not hear. So yes, we are looking at education on one hand and looking at also the intellectual compatibility on the other hand. Now, the fact that a first school living certificate holder would maybe give you the respect, it doesn't mean that her lack of education would apply to everything about that marriage and about what you want. I don't know if you understand. So we are saying that that's why, for the most part, when you hear a man get married to a man or a woman, both ways, it works both ways. What they do most of the time is they try to improve on these people's education, so that they try to. You will hardly see a man just get married to somebody, a first school living certificate holder, and then just it ends there. Even if they don't go to the formal education, they would send them to, maybe they go and acquire, even at evening school. You know why? Because in the long run, it will matter. So we're not saying that educational compatibility is the same thing as intellectual compatibility. We are just saying the two of them is like two different sides of the same coin. Yes, if I can put it like that. Yes, I think it matters. So yes, even also who don't go school, they say nobody see argue. It's still see things they are like. but we're saying for the most part, it will matter.
Yeah, yeah. And there's just so maybe you don't get us wrong, or maybe people who are watching. We are not saying that because you have a degree, you get married to somebody who also has a degree. No, that's not the point. So that when I bring a certificate for can compare them, that's not what makes you educational compatible. The question is, what can you consider? Are you okay with somebody who has just a first school leaving certificate with your degree? If you're okay, you know it goes because you've seen like this person is compatible. It's okay, you can work. But you discover that in most of those cases, like Deli said, there is this superiority and inferiority complex, which is now, can you imagine a relationship with inferiority and superiority complex? You go obviously no work when that thing when they come in. So that's where we are coming from. Actually, somebody, I think it was Buri McKinsey, he made a point, and he said, now only Africans that consider the educational thing them, or you both they know the even, you know, when I hear points like that, I laugh. Why do I
You
laugh?
just no when I hear, I know say they know the person no know Igbo. I know say the person where they talk no know Igbo.
Yes, I just laugh because I just thought say either you just there for Cameroon, you claim you know, or even if you didn't serve out of Cameroon, how many of them you know? How many of them do you know? Do you want to know the kind of discussion they have? So sometimes, you know what? More not just feel as say I know the white people then pass, or not even feel as say no Africans that even pass. Even sometimes there are some things that we don't know, and then you concluded your statement by saying that it doesn't matter so far as the person can be financially supportive. That's what matters to the white people. Yes, that's what matters to the white people. Oh no, sorry. That's not what matters to the white people, or even to you as you're saying it. Because in that sense, where you're saying it, it means you've limited your relationship to finance. And guess what? When that money can enter, ought to not enter. Well, as we are talking about intellectual compatibility, one national for story, how does it work? You just take money, scap of the mind, no.
And this is where this issue of cheating, do you know why cheating happens a lot in marriages? A lot of incompatibility in marriages happen.
Exactly. Yeah.
So people start going for options they don't have at home. A lot of cheating. You see, cheating for marriage, it has a lot to play. I think Denzel can even give more on. I think Denzel is in a position to explain more of that. Though I'm just saying that it is all of these points that we're talking and putting together. That
I don't have a PhD. If I see woman now PhD, Maro.
No,
that's so talk and then that's so talk and be some. That's so we explain it to him.
You cannot. The one time this or not get this whole thing wrong. That's not the point. It's not the point.
The question I ask
I'm telling you that.
When they talk about educational compatibility, right? The question I say, you be so. You feel stand a woman with a PhD or even a professor. Do you know that even if you can stand it, there are men who cannot stand it?
Woman, no matter what you get.
You see, not be woman for all man picking.
So woman not be woman for all man picking. So that's the
we don't go school, go get a degree, the master's degree, them now already a problem for some other man picking.
Thank you. That's the point.
Matter of fact, they even fear woman, we woman, they hold over go school. They to say we be problem them.
Thank you.
See, big book.
See, I beg you don't leave me to
They
something.
can't chat around at put that together once and chat with.
So when even we would over go book, would he finally submit on? I said they don't know. Now we would over go book.
See,
where Karin Nonja.
I want to ask the last question.
So what that you are doing, my sister?
I want to ask the last question. Really twist things. I want to ask the last question so that we can all contribute if we can contribute. This is it about, because this is just what we are saying now. I want us to put educational compatibility on gender lines. You know, like I don't know, like plenty cases in old Russian, right? When the man is more educated, it's okay. It's fine. But once the woman, hey, they say the man in family.
Big book, yes, big book and gender. I like that point. Now dance they go start. Thank God even start now dancing.
Say they ever ask and say they are woman. You just say you don't go reach now level. Mommy na master level again. Master what? It need to go. Before I went to the university, guess what? The kind of discussion they used to have in school. If you graduate from bachelor, you never marry for God, you don't ever marry again.
I remember some place Okada man be tell me for university. Yeah, me say day level wait here. I just can university level 1. He say me I no enter level 2 and never get master. He just advise me.
You
Some
get
man go enter level 2 1. No, he said he tell me like my big brother Okada man we carry me. He say man no try that thing. So
Correct advice we give. So spot on as education, relationship, compatibility. Now, kind of man that give advice like professor.
They were telling women, they said, as a woman, no need not to ever try get bachelor. Just find a man, put on one time before you graduate, one time you get a 2 certificate because you know marry. Why? It was the mentality about women being more educated. So what do you think about this?
Well, I think it's something that needs to be considered, and because people have exaggerated things, like I said in the beginning of the session of education, people have taken things out of context. Education is good, there's no doubt about that, but does it really work really well on the side of the female gender? Of course it does, but it affects to a certain extent. First, let's take a man's perspective. Men love agreeable women.
very true.
Men love women who agree with them. And when you are too educated, you become, before even that, men love agreeable women. Men hate opinionated women.
Very
So when
true.
you are too educated, you become too opinionated. And you do not agree. And when you do not agree, you emasculate that man. You put him somewhere. And he sees that you have emasculated him, you have taken his position. And just by doing that, that education is a setback.
Yeah.
That is why I said in the beginning, education works for women who are in the marriage home. It helps to lift their home and their husband up. But when you are in the dating, it doesn't really work for your favor. If you give me a 17-year-old girl, right? Let me say, I should not use 17, I said as a minor. Let me say 25. And she said, should I get married or go and get a degree? I will tell her to get married, then go and chase your degree. Because you got married, will not change the fact that you can have a degree.
Depending on the man you're married to too. Don't forget.
Yes, yeah. But once you get a degree, the marriage thing can go down a little bit. You understand? So
it does, not it can. Yeah.
So that's it. So I think it does for the female gender. This is where marriage becomes not difficult. Because you as a woman, you need to understand yourself. Like, okay, I have a PhD. Can I do certain things? Because your mind is everywhere. You are intelligent. You are educated. You know a lot of things. Can you shut up?
Yeah.
Not in a wrong way, but can you just, okay, let me agree with this man? If you cannot do that, your dating life will be miserable. You might have a beautiful body and all that. Men might just come to the body, drop what they have to drop and run away. But they will not wife you.
I'm laughing at a comment, sorry.
You understand?
Are you now saying, let me project the comment, let me project it?
So that's the part
the comment before, so that there's the comment. So you should not attain high education because you are afraid you will not get married.
Of course, that's not what we're saying. That's what we're saying.
Obviously, I was waiting for Desert to finish so that I should ask that. So should women who are now in the process of going to, should they drop and wait first?
Of course not. Of course not. But we have to try to balance it or to look which side it works.
Yeah.
Okay. We have to see. I don't know, but this is it. When you look at the West, let me say, when you look at the Western world, of us live in the diaspora. When you guys all have colleagues, most of your colleagues, where are their husbands from? They were probably in the high school or the university together. Imagine, I mean, like out of 10, I would say 6 to 7, their husbands, they left high school or the university. They were together. A good number of them. You understand what I mean? So once you acquire a whole lot too much, once you are too educated, your mind is everywhere, and men scare away from that. There is something in the woman in the left hand side woman's body. Biologically, it's called amygdala. That is why you see women, their mind is everywhere. It's because of that. You might be talking to, I might be talking now to the lady is thinking about work, thinking about Jesus boy, thinking about whoever she has to cancel the next 2 hours. But if I'm talking to Bison, right? Bison is focused on me because Bison also has amygdala, but his is at the right hand side. It's at the right. Well, these things, a lot of people are not aware of these things. But I think I should just round up. Education. Women need to be careful with it. It's a beautiful thing.
They don't come to me one. So that tomorrow,
if you can acquire more in your home, I think it's a good thing. Because it scares men away and you cannot control that part. Like Bison was saying,
it
scares them away. But it's a good thing. But sometimes good things scares us away as well.
Emma, you don't confuse or you know.
No, and wait, Denzel get to conclude before I talk. Okay, so thank you, Denzel. Coming to Bison, what I also want us to do is that when we make these points right, let's also drive towards a kind of solution, not just saying what's happening, but
Denzel, mute your mic, I beg.
Like not just talking about what is happening, but trying to say like what can be done and how can this be handled, because I'm also one person.
Or maybe Emma, you said you can say it. When they're giving their point, Emma, then you can say that part.
Time no day. Let me just let's try there.
You can also give this advice.
Yes, I said I should go. There's someone there who has to mute their mic.
Wait, I don't understand why you talk about stuff at all. Because of the echo. Yeah, the echo.
No, I'm saying I got you. I said I can talk and maybe suggest solutions. But let's rush over it because we don't have much time. That's what I'm saying.
No rush. They can't make 40 something minutes. They will not rush anything. I'm trying to say something. No, okay. I'm trying to answer an important question.
Important
question that they ask them. You cannot just rush like that, because the question is, should women now drop out of school?
That's what I was telling you, Emma. Say, because this is a question, you leave a more talk about compatibility matter there, as then they don't talk. Then now you can instead answer that one. Yes, I think you stand a better chance to explain that better.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
That means you come for this show today, so gone purpose. That means you know Joe hear me open my box. So you already fire.
I don't know what is gone for. Side. Hi, why rush me for show?
Well,
today would make
I can't agree less with my brother Denzel. You've spoken well, bro. It is true that it is true that education really reduces the chances of a woman to get married.
Mm-hmm.
But again, let's look at the advantages of education in a woman's life. So if we look at the advantages and we see the direction in which the world is going, every blessed day, more and more women are getting educated. If it was going the other way, then we could have been patient. We could have said, okay, let's be patient. After 10 years ago, 1 million women became educated in the world. This year, 500,000 women. So the number is regressing. Let's be patient. One day there won't be any educated woman again. So every woman can get married. But now, it's increasing every blessed day. the number of women being educated is increasing, which means we as men, we hold the solution to it. It's no longer in the hands of the woman, because they have proven to us that they will not give up their education.
Mm-hmm.
So we must find a way to accommodate these educated women in marriage. Now the truth. Now it takes part of their time and this and that. Men want women if a woman is much more educated, they prefer a woman who isn't really with so many certificates or whatnot. I gave this issue of from our sister Vicky Fokala, from what I read from her. I don't need to explain that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That it doesn't matter how much a woman is educated or how rich she is. That determines how submissive she will be. A submissive woman is a submissive woman, irrespective of how much she has or the power she has. There are women who are ministers in countries, but they are submissive to their husbands.
Yes.
There are women who are delegates. They stand in positions of power and authority in different countries, in different organizations, but they are submissive to their husbands. So it's not about what a woman has acquired or what she has that will use it to determine how submissive she is. That one is a chapter closed. My solution to this is we as men, we must. I made the statement here, Karin Nonjak. I said, a woman is a woman no matter what. I wasn't trying to like put every woman in one. What I was trying to say is the same way you approach a man who approach the same things a woman who has a PhD is expecting to hear from a man is the same thing that a woman in Kwakwa who hasn't seen the four walls of class one needs to hear from a man. A woman who has a PhD, she expects to see love, commitment, faithful to your promises, you're on time and things like that. That a woman, when you're luring a man, those are the things a woman wants to see. It's the same thing that even a woman who hasn't seen the four walls of class one in the village needs to see from a man. So it's not much of a difference. It's just that the way you play is the way you play each other's own that makes the difference. But the general sense is the same. So it's not like a woman who has a PhD is demanding more. You need much more effort to lure her into your arms. That is different. So education is not stopping you in any way. It's the same format you will use in every other woman. And what you give to a woman what she wants, she's obviously gonna give you what you need. So let's not look at this issue of that education because it will never end. Women get educated more and more every day. The country closer to me, Estonia, the president is a woman, the prime minister is a woman.
Yeah.
You understand? In Finland, where I live, the president is a man, the prime minister is a woman. So you see how much this education it's instead growing. So we must learn to infiltrate and accommodate them in marriage just as they are, as what they are striving to become. Now we give them this rights. I talked last time, so now we give them right, all this educational right. So I think the solution is we as men is our responsibility to find a way to accommodate these women. May they be, yes, they should carry on with their education, but we should also make them as our wives because we'll choose end for how long. We'll choose all the one day they don't go school. When the one day they don't go school, they don't finish, we'll do it now. We can't start back now. One day they go school. So I think, hey brother,
Okay.
there's a way. See, there's an Ovex go here.
Okay, so yes, Delhi.
A man will run show for 3 hours.
I don't know why you saved the best for last. It's a very interesting twist, which I mean, and it happens that I mean, considerably were educated women, you know. So it's a very, very hard one, especially for us, Emma and I, to be in this position to have to handle this. I would have preferred maybe some other person who is maybe not as educated, or maybe it's even far, or just maybe the men to talk on this, and would love to have the different perspective. And it's even good that Bisong and Denzel, they kind of stand different edges, though they're coming to the center, which I understand. But I would love to stand at the middle here, middle ground. I understand completely what Denzel meant when he said he's a threat to most men, and it's true. I face that a lot. I woke up, I'm a very opinionated woman. You people already know that. And based on that, so people would see me, oh, this is a beautiful girl, oh, she's intelligent. And then the opinionated side of me would scare a lot of men. Very true. Now, a lot of women are watching me who are educated, who are opinionated. Doesn't mean you're not going to get married to husbands. This is where I would say, make sure that if the educational compatibility side of you as a woman doesn't match your husband, make sure that the intellectual bit matches. And what do I mean by this? That you people can see life in the same view. Even when he or she has not attained that level, he is still seeing the fact that this is a positive thing. Girl education is important. Oh, you have rights, at least right to yourself. Let him see life in that light. So if we would go by that, for instance, just an example, say I was a single man, a single woman, and I want to get married, and I have these two suitors, these two gentlemen here. Based on those characteristics I've explained, I'll go with this song, because I know that this is somebody who accommodates me. I could accommodate my education. I could accommodate my strongness, my opinions. But that doesn't in any way mean that what this Denzel said doesn't make. Trust me, we women who have gone to school, we scare a lot of men. It would take a man who has his shit together, a man who is not intimidated by your education, a man who has his himself intact to understand women like we. I'm telling you, a man who, no matter how gigantic you are, he still look at you that like the woman. These are the kind of men who understand us. And I'm saying this so that another woman should not feel like, oh, I don't go my PhD. So the PhD women should die. So this is what I'm saying. Don't go in for a man who is complex, where it too feel like say you are a threat in everything. Go in for a man who looks at you like you are a well of wealth. You are a lot to tap from. He looks at you like an asset to his empire. Like, oh, thank God my woman don't go to. Thank God my woman be strong, because we are men who love our kind of women. But in all, what Denzel said at the beginning made a lot of sense. It is somehow, especially for our African side. Now, this is where the African side will play. For our African men, they have the tendency of shying away from women who have gone to too much school. But whites don't have that complexity. Matter of fact, they instead look like that one. And I think that's the way. That's where we have it. So if you are a woman, I think say me you choose before you want to choose the kind of man. Be sure say the man no get complex with education. It's okay. You know, get problem with them. He said the time when you add a book. But trust me, the more we especially of the African descent, we women, we go to school, the more our chances of getting married they drop. Even if we don't like that fact, it's something that is true.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, so thanks, guys. I mean, as a conclusion, first of all, I agree. Like you said, Denzel said, that's cool. And it stands like, okay, it goes back even to ancient days when girls were not educated because of the mindset like this. So it happens till today. We have men who still see it like that. And then like they look at it like this. So my conclusion was kind of, which Bisong really made and Deli kind of stood for it too, is this thing. I have an issue when we keep saying men actually are afraid of them. We end there. as if women now have to succumb and now follow because men have to. So that's why you see this song I was trying to talk about, this solution thing. Like, so women are not supposed to succumb because men are afraid of. No, on the contrary, men should be taught to be powerful and be able to seek for women they are compatible with, whether educated or not. Why women also should be taught of, we all have boundaries, whether men or women. Your education is not going to exceed your boundaries or things like that. I think this song really pointed it out. Men should learn to deal with something like that instead of thinking that
people should stoop low a little bit.
Sorry.
People should bend low a little bit, stoop low a little bit.
Yes,
I mean, and there for my camera.
It's not your certificate.
Oh, okay.
It's not your certificate that will make you not stoop low, right? I think that's even the advice we are saying, that whether education or not, there are boundaries. So me, a certificate not make you feel say you know go stoop low. It's the same for everyone so far. So me men they no staff you say me all get enough for you become stand at attention now first wait married before they go to school. Or me all get the way they don't do masters, me they first come out wait first get married before they continue.
If married no come now, we don't come out leave school.
If married no come, you don't come out leave school. All your life you depend on man picking way sometimes no ever come. At the end, not everybody will get married. But people want to get educated. So thank you so much, guys.
I don't chat gay as Mr. Agamini points of advanced level.
Where? This is why you did so no.
Yeah, I have to say, you get how many points? Is it get 23 points? They have
to get only like 2 points.
You have to say me I got how many points? I said we cannot date each other.
See, about this
no, that issue, just to know that exactly.
Now the problem that woman them.
The way Denzel Ebison explained it to me, this is me rounding up at the round of 100 times. The way Ebison explained this man round up.
You did round up.
Yes, no, I don't have my daughter continue. I beg. I add a beg with the team. That's where Ebison talk say. Me man thinking they also be accommodative of the fact that the more for we women who are very opinionated, who have gone to school, who are very exposed, who are intelligent, we should also calm down our high horse in the sense when it gets to the home to understand that we could be all of what we are to the society, but we are whites at home. If we can have it to strike a balance with that, it would help us a great deal. Because it is because we carry all of our certificates and our intellect and we bring it at home. We don't know how to strike a boundary. Then it works against us. Yes, I just had to make that.
I think that was a great conclusion. Thank you, guys. There's I'm not saying no. You the conversation my name not very hard. If I don't do it show for 3 hours, there's no problem.
Emma, you do show for 3 hours.
I cannot love you any less.
I say, educated get it, you chat them on CV. Can you please show what you're saying?
Then now this one make a meeting continue.
Educated get it. Emma do show for 3 hours, guys.
Yeah, swear. The educated get it.
Hours 30 minutes.
Now educated gay show.
Now educated gay hosting. Now educated gay hosting on 3 hours. Now the way you chat them with CV, you are chat and say, hello, can I please have your number? Can you please send your CV to my email?
Thank God to not be me a host today, I beg.
So much,
you go chat gay, I say, can I please have your number? Can you please send your CV to my email?
Now this song now, I don't want to end me show.
Show end for 3 hours. Show end for 3 hours. Emma, are you serious? Bye guys. We have now. You guys will pump us hard. We love you.
Some people want to continue. See, the one will continue.
Okay, somebody said that somebody asked in the comment that I've forgotten. Say Munofi give opportunity for them for the call in. So they like the kind of topic for call in. So the only talk now we. So that's why you were the host. Maybe you address that. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, guys. We'll subsequently we'll give a chance for people to start calling in. I said he passed me, said he forehead then, so they don't even manage 2 hours, 30 minutes. Don't get that to 3 hours. Only for get appointed. One and for they 4 hours.
Finish the show now.
Guys, I don't finish. Now Bison and Delili leave me now, so I don't finish me the show.
Who that?
I said no. I said be educated coordinator.
Now you when they chat with the ask CV, say, can I please have your CV?
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. We love you all.
For the
We
end
love
show.
you.
The end show. End show, I beg.